$29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22. 21.
20.
19.
18.
17.
16.
15.
14.
13. 12.
11.
10.
8.
6.
6. What happened to 7?
7.
5.
4.
3.
2. 1.
0.
I don't know what she's doing in the background. She's got her phone out. She's like looking at goofy stuff. I don't know what she's doing, but I do know that before I forget, I don't want to forget this because I always do. Let's just get this part out of the way.
They call me Cuba Pete. I'm the king of a rumba beat. When I play the maracas, I go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom. Yes.
I got to get the dancing cat out of the way or I will forget as we get into this. So you guys know we got Swags here. Keep in mind, she can't see your comments. If you guys are talking about her, like I already saw somebody like, oh, Swags is hot. She can read the comments. We're not in this is not a junior high locker room, children. So without any further ado, let me pull my comments section up so I can see. Yeah, cat dance. Here we go. Let me pull this up and add Miss Swags to the stream. There you are. Hi, Savannah.
I actually didn't realize I could see the comments. I just figured that out. So thanks for that.
I told you she's the fucking worst with tech. It wasn't a joke. Like, we really were having like this time. It was not me. I've gotten to where I figured out I don't have the microphone issues. See, like I even have the microphone in the shot now so that people know it's a live like podcast thing. Apparently that's what you got to do. So you guys know Swags. She's over at Rosecraft now. She also did design work for Artisan and CJRB with the Myalea. Say what?
I said I did CJRB. I haven't done anything for Artisan.
CJRB. I mean, it's kind of really similar. They are partner companies, but one's a US based and one is Chinese. So it's not that big a difference. They share a website. So
I feel like the biggest difference is just price point.
Right? Kind of, but like
CJRBs are getting pretty expensive.
I was gonna say, well, the whole thing is that the quality on both have really increased on a lot of the stuff that you would like. It's gotten to the point where I designed for Artisan, you designed for CJRB, but I have a tendency to gravitate more to the CJRB stuff because they're more practical designs than the art. The artisan stuff seems to be kind of the over the top weird, like unique designs, which I'm fine with. But that's like a boutique style thing. And then you get into the CG, you see the CGRB stuff, and that's just more your standard, like functional, EDC stuff, as opposed to like some of the other stuff's kind of crazy. But we didn't come to talk about those two companies. We came to talk about what you got going on at Rosecraft, because you did send me a couple of knives. Now I did the unboxing, but I've only carried 2 of them. And you know how I do it. Like I'll get a knife in, and I forgot to change my background. I'll get a knife in, and I do the first day in pockets. Oops, that's the wrong one. I do first day in pockets. It's not what I wanted to do. I'll do first day in pockets on stuff, and then I do the unboxing, then I do first day in pockets, and then I do a carry period, and then I do the full review. So on your stuff, I did the unboxing on everything, and I unboxed. I'm currently carrying the Ajuda, which is great, and then this one that we talked about on the phone yesterday, which you were kind of surprised by what I had said.
I was actually. I made that because it's just like a mutinized Mylea, and the original thing about that was it's supposed to be, when you close it, it looks like a little monster, like Mike Wazowski. So it was going to be green with like a little blue anodized pivot. I couldn't do that, so I ended up doing like the Sully edition. But now I have the right green, so I'm totally going to try my best to make a Mike edition to go with it, because I'm a child. I don't know.
Well, like I said it in a video that no one has seen yet. If I get it all done and the editing done, it's probably going to go up tomorrow. If not, it'll be later in the week. I've got other videos and stuff, but it has been filmed, and it just is in the process of edit. I said that I didn't know if you did it on purpose or by accident, but you built a very good small little skinning knife for like skinning out
I had
game.
no idea I did that. When you told me that, I was like, really? I thought you might have been talking about the Bara, but like when you said it was that one, I was like, huh. Nope. I'm not a hunter. So.
Nice. Well, the nice thing is when you're doing skinning, which is it's an endeavor. Like it takes a lot. It's especially like doing a deer. You want something that's comfortable in hand, and you get way up on this. So you've got that beefy area. So there's a lot less fatigue, and with a big handle and stuff like that on a small blade like that, you need that to do the fine detail work. So a lot of times you want to save the pelt, and you're trying to be really careful, and you can do that. You can do those fine little details, so you've got that good control, and it is stupid sharp.
Hey, I will say that about RPM 9. RPM 9, a lot of people like at the show even still hadn't heard of it, which I mean, you know, it kind of is only with CGRB and like now with us, because they do OEM some of our stuff. A lot of people have been wondering that, but no, a lot of people don't know about it. And I was like, no, RPM 9 is one of those budget steels that just, it holds up and it stands up, and it's so easy to sharpen too. And as long as you take care of your knife, I mean, you don't really have to sharpen it for a long time.
Well, that's one of the big things is I find that it strops up better than most other steels that I've had. Like everybody's like, oh, it's just like 9CR. It's just powder 9CR. I was like, no, 9CR doesn't respond to a strop, and the very basics of strops, like the basic materials you could use as a strop, like newspaper, which is, I find like newspaper or phone book paper around a block of wood for AR RPM 9 is about the best strop. And it just does a really good job. And you can take it not just like, oh, it touched the edge up. Like you can take it from dull to like
back to like razor sharp.
Right back to shave. And you're like, that is not a normal response to a strop.
You know, that's one thing that you can know someone's in the knife community is if they have a bald spot on their arm.
It's called knife collector's mange. Uh-oh. She pushed a button. You guys always made fun of me for doing it. She pushed a button, and now we have to wait for her to come back. She'll be back. Trust me. So you pushed the wrong button.
I didn't push nothing. I'm sitting over here. I think it was your fault.
I have literally had my hands on my knees. I am that far away from my keyboard.
No, I think I just lost connection for a second, but I'm back.
That's right. You do live in the middle of nowhere.
I wouldn't say nowhere. It's kind of nowhere.
It's not the middle of, it's the edge. I'm on the outer border of nowhere. So you've sent me you sent me the Zambezi that I've done. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I've had 3 knives in pocket. I've had the Zambezi, which is that crazy little slip joint that I love.
Dude, it's awesome.
The
Damn.
Judah and the Pocket Monster. Don't feel bad about pets. Like I literally heard right before we started this, I had to tell my dog to get the cat's head out of his mouth. Like, get the cat, stop chewing on the table.
They're kittens, okay? And they're just exploring, and then they want to like fight each other, and one's bigger, one's smaller, and like the smaller one bites the bigger one in the eye. The other one takes its back feet and beats the crap out of it. And like
murder, it's called Murderfoot.
Yeah, it's called Girls, You're Both Pretty, Quit. And there they go again.
So
I only have 2 shoes, so I'm going to save them for necessary times.
So you've got those 2 knives. The Ajuda, you designed the Pocket Monster
and the Barra.
Hawken designed the
Ajuda.
Mm-hmm. So you got to tell him that I really do like this. This is, I tell you, this knife. I was telling you in a text, but guys, the Ajuda screams through cardboard. I haven't done a lot of heavy like wood cutting or anything with it yet, but absolutely screams through cardboard. Dude, because it's got that big, nice flat area, and it's got that nice drop down, like aggressive squat down into the cut kind of curvature to it from tip to tail.
I mean, you think almost all knives that Hawkins designs, if you look at him, you'll kind of understand because he has, I think, about 80 or so horses right now. So he's constantly working with horses and the hay and all the stuff that he does. Listen, I'm not a horse girl. A lot of people apparently, hey Scott, how's it going? But a lot of people apparently think that because like I do knives, I do like cars and all this other stuff. And I'm like, nope, it goes to knives and it stops right there. But he does like heavy work with his knives. So if you'll see any of his designs, you'll be able to tell that he just rips through stuff constantly.
Yeah. Well, and having grown up a farm, I can see that. We had horses, we had cattle. You know, we had at one point 340 head of cattle on our farm when I was growing up. And you've got to have a good knife for all kinds of stuff. You may have to pry something out of a cow's hoof until you can get the hoof trimmer to come out. You know what I mean?
God, it smells so bad when y'all be doing that though.
Say what?
The horse hooves and like cow hooves, they smell so freaking bad. Like,
have you been around when they put shoes on them and they burn them in?
Yeah, it's even worse.
It smells like hair because it's hair. Same thing.
Really gross.
Yeah, they're disgusting. Especially if like you pry something out and there's and it blows out the pus because you're like, oh, he's got something stuck, and you open up basically an abscess and it just sprays.
Stop. That's disgusting.
That's disgusting. Yeah, it is. I
don't know why that's becoming on my For You page on Instagram lately, like just videos of that. And I'm like, why?
I'm going to tell you right now, without fail, every time it's going to hit you in the face. Like, it doesn't matter how you try and do it. You're like, I think it's going to pop. I got to get this thing out of this cow's foot. And you get ready, and you're like, it doesn't matter which way, it's going to hit you in the face. It's just going to spray like, and then you're like, this is disgusting. I've now got cow shit and pus and shit all over my face. And I'm fucking a 10-minute fucking ride back to the house to wash my face. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. That's super gross. When I got thrown off a horse, I like felt like chunks of something in my hair. And I'm telling you, everyone better thank their freaking stars that was mud and not horse shit in my hair, because we would have had a whole different ordeal had there been horse poo in my hair.
Just shave it. Cut it all off.
I just grew it back. All my hair was cut to here. I am not doing that again. That sucked. I look like that haircut they had to give me when my hair fell out made me look like Stephanie from the PTA meeting or something. Like I'm like bringing cookies for Cheryl. Like I was not about that. I looked like a straight up soccer mom, and I drove a minivan. I was like, this is bullshit.
You looked like you were about to ask to see the manager.
I wasn't that bad, but I was close.
Let me see. Bubble says, wait, horse poo isn't good for hair? I don't know. Like, who knows?
It wasn't good for my attitude, that's for sure. And what was worse is when I came down like off the mountain, you know, like Hawkins, he's gonna hate me for telling this story, but He tried to hose me down in a horse stall. I'm like, no, absolutely not. I'm going to the store. You are not hosing me down in a horse stall. He goes, it's not a real horse stall. I don't care. I am going to the store. You're not hosing me down anywhere. Absolutely not.
Tell me you're actually a city girl without actually telling me you're a city girl.
It ain't even that. It's just like, if we are walking distance from a store that I could use instead of you hosing me down in a horse stall, I just feel like I'm going to go to the store. And I'm not letting my boyfriend hose me down with water at any point in time. That is too much power, and I don't trust it.
I don't even trust when my wife hands me a cup of coffee and winks. I'm like, I'm not fucking drinking that. I know the things that I've put that woman through over the last 21 years. I'm like, nope.
No,
like,
I'm good.
Thanks, and I dump it. And I'm like, I'll make my own fucking coffee. I'm like, hey, come here. Does this smell weird to you? I don't know.
Can I make the kid try it first?
And, like, did you make the kid anything? She's like, no. Like, you come out and there's one plate on the table. I'm like, yeah, no thanks. I'm not hungry. Like, she knows how much insurance I have.
Oh my God.
She's like 700,000. It's good. I've had enough.
Easy. Listen,
She
just
watches
a
a lot.
syringe
She
with
watches a
air
lot of.
will get cardiac arrest.
She watches a lot of CSI. I'm a little concerned.
Ew. I fall asleep to like these. It's called Explore With Us on YouTube, and it's just all of these murder documentaries. And I will fall asleep.
I know we've completely gotten off of knives, but do you remember when they used to do the urban exploring? So they would take their drone out. It was him and his daughter when they actually did. I haven't watched, like, I can't watch their new shit. I'm like, great. Now it's basically all AI voiceover. And I'm like, this is garbage. I don't need to see this. So
go ahead.
Somebody asked, are you the one that designed the chili pepper?
Yes, that is me.
I have not seen
that. Kaiser.
I have not seen that.
Funny enough about that, I had totally forgotten about that knife because I actually submitted that design before the swayback even came out. And just one day, I go to my mailbox, I open it up, and it's from Kaiser, and it's just a version of the chili pepper I had never seen, and I completely forgot about. And I was like, oh, cool. So now I have another knife at Kaiser.
She appears to be frozen. I can still hear her, but I don't see her lips moving.
How do I fix this?
I have no idea. There you go.
Okay.
You're asking the wrong person. I'm as bad with technology.
I had to do this?
I had to do it
like that.
That's great. That's great. That's great.
That's terrible. How do I get this to stop doing that? Oh my God.
Oh, this is great. So anyway, would you like me to remove you and bring you back and see if that helps?
What is this? Oh my God.
Well, now we have a black screen. I don't know. A lot of it has to do with the software you're using and things like that. It's not the greatest. It's just, Murky says perfect frozen frame.
Okay. Is it good now?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So Jared was like, somebody clip that quickly. It was at 18 minutes and 19 seconds. If anyone wants to go back to it, so they could take a screenshot of that and post it up on Instagram and tag both Savannah and I in it. It appears that she's frozen again, but at least she's got her hand in front of her face this time.
Eventually it's going to unfreeze. You're going to see this little thing I brought for you.
Oh, great. I said that to a girl on a date one time.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
How do I make this stop? Why?
It happens from time to time. It's probably if you have like a crappy internet
connection
provider, internet connection. Yeah. If your Wi-Fi is a little bit
trash.
If your Wi-Fi is a little bit weak, there you go. See, you're back. You're back. What were you going to show me? What did you? Oh, that? Yeah, I got one of those in my pocket for you too. And just so you guys know, this is absolutely how we interacted at California Custom Show, or not California Custom Show at Blade Blessed. Yes.
Give me 1 second. Hold on one second.
You're frozen again, so we're not going to be able to see it. It's Canada's fault. Yeah, it's all the smoke in the air. Guys, that's the problem. It's not. She's not actually even here. She has walked off and left, apparently.
Off the Wi-Fi. Thank you. Will that help? Maybe. I don't know. I told everyone to get off my Wi-Fi. By
I
everyone,
actually,
I mean me and my friend.
I actually have two. I solved my my problems with some of the Wi-Fi stuff. I have two routers. They both run off the same input feed, but one of them is dedicated to the YouTube channel stuff. I had an extra router and I just basically connected them separate. So I have one that is dedicated just out here. It actually is, I have a repeater for it out here. So there's two servers upstairs. One is the one the family uses and anything I'm using that's not channel related. And then the other one sits there and I have a Wi-Fi repeater out here that sits in the garage so that I have good, strong Wi-Fi. Because my Wi-Fi is not reliable because I'm in an area of San Diego that they're like, yeah, he's one exit from the border. We're not doing anything down there. I think she froze completely because I heard the audio kick off. I'm trying to let me I'm going to remove her when I see her start moving again. I'll bring her back. So yeah, while we're waiting on her, I was just going to say, like, I think, like she said, she absolutely acts it. There she is. She has returned.
Have I? Okay. I don't.
Yeah. Now
confused.
you're not. Now you're very, very poor quality, but at least you're moving.
I'm not moving. I'm paused again. I don't know what to do. How do I fix this? Hold on. Let me see if I can just switch internet or something. I don't know. We're here.
Don't fucking touch anything.
Okay.
That worked. Whatever you did
Hands
worked.
here. God damn it. Oh, crap.
Do you want to log out for a second? I will keep everybody. We'll do something. I'll
Okay.
Do you want to I'll tell you what. Do you want to see if you can have you tried hitting it? That's always a good
this laptop. It's not mine.
Then you've got nothing to lose.
Oh my god.
It's not your laptop. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna try it. Let me see if I can pull up here the what is it? Rosecraft blades? Is that the website?
Yes.
Rosecraft blades.
Don't touch my face. Every time I do, I freeze. Okay, I won't touch it.
That sounds like something that like a compulsive gambler would say, like, oh, I got to stay at this machine and I got to do it left-handed and drop a coin every time so that it works every time. That's the only. Are you frozen again, aren't you?
I know I've been frozen for a minute. And this is much nicer than normal though, so I'll take it.
Yeah, we can do that. That works. I mean, that's like so Rosecraft blades. You guys have got pull this up here. How we got this? Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna put us across the bottom here. So Rosecraft blades, you guys have got some stuff that's coming soon, and I had looked at this French broadjack. Is a very good looking knife. That is a nice, slim little traditional Wharncliffe.
Yeah,
like,
it feels really nice in hand too. Even though it's super skinny, it feels really good. Like you have a good grip on it too.
Yeah. Well, and that's what your traditional Wharncliffes were the traditional slip joint like that. But this Riverjack, that's a really good looking functional. Who designed this one? Is this another one of Hawkins' designs?
No. Andy designs all of our traditionals. It's like his bread and butter. He is fantastic at traditionals. I don't think
that's better.
I don't know where to start when it comes to a traditional. Some of the things he comes up with is ridiculous, but that thing, I am so excited for that to start going out. We actually got our inventory in, but we're not going to drop everything except for like maybe one or two like a month. But I'm like in the process of checking all of them right now, and they are fantastic. They really are. We haven't gotten those two in yet, but
are these? I got to go back. Are these in rosewood?
Let me make.
I like that. It is. You know what? I like. I've had a couple knives that I'm trying to pull it up again so I can see it here. Genuine smooth bone.
Yes, because it's a dyed bone. We were gonna do it in wood, But, you know, coming overseas, we just didn't feel like that was, you know.
Yeah.
the
I like
best
that though.
idea.
I like the look of that. I do like a really good traditional, and like I said, that's a very, very good looking traditional slip joint right there. But
Well, you know,
so that's some.
Clinch River Swayback Traditional won Import Knife of the Year at Blade Show.
That's I'm trying to get down here and find it. So I'm not gonna lie, I have not like I knew that like I have to apologize. First of all, I gotta apologize. I had kind of like overlooked the Rosecraft stuff because I really didn't know how much stuff was coming out. Like I knew that you were doing the Rosecraft stuff, but I had not really oh, and I forgot if you guys are on StreamYard, I forgot. My bad. I forgot to pull up the StreamYard. I need to pull that up. So if there's any comments on there right now, let me pull that up and keep this muted. I absolutely forgot. There we go. I forgot that I had put this up on Rumble as well. So if you guys happen to be watching it over on Rumble, I apologize. I will pull that. I will check the comments section over there occasionally if anybody's got any comments for Savannah over there. Are you unfrozen? Are you moving? I believe that she's completely frozen. And I don't have my phone to even text her. So, are you back, Savannah?
I'm trying so hard here. I just don't think I'm meant to be on screen or something.
What if you want, what we can do is you can completely log out and see what you can do with your Wi-Fi for a minute, and we'll look at the website for a little bit, and then I can see if you pop back in. So I don't want you to like not pop, and if it works better from your phone, then you could also see if it works better from your phone. I know it's a little more problematic.
I might do that. I'll figure this out. I will be right back.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the website. So if you want to just log out and then see if you can fix your stuff. But yeah, so that's some of the coming soon stuff. But I'm trying to find that. All this stuff is really nice. I have this one here, which is this was sent with the stuff that Savannah sent me. And so there's a lot of stuff that they've got on their website I did not realize that they have. So she'll be right back. I promise, guys. I was hoping to see more people. Like I expected to see some more people come. I wanted to talk about all the Rosecraft stuff. She'll be back. Promise. So I have one of these, and the nice thing about this is it's got a spot you can put it on a keychain if you want, because it's not a very big slip joint, and you put it on a keychain. But if you have a ferro rod, you can strike it on that. It's got a nice spot on it to strike. Like if say you wanted to light a campfire with a ferro rod, you've got that available. So while she's fixing her internet, let's go back here. Let's see what else they've got. Those are some nice ones. I have not gotten to see this. I did look at this the other day, but this is the one she was talking about. This is a good looking knife. I saw this on Instagram, and I was really impressed with that. I like a good swayback knife. You guys remember I have the slayback. That is the Ray Laconico liner lock. I loved the swayback Jack from Jack Wolf Knives. This is another one. I like a really good swayback style knife. When I was at I forget which I forget which one of the knife shows. Nick Shabazz and I were at a knife show together, and I saw the he bought a swayback custom. I don't remember it was Enrique Pena or anything. I can't remember who made it, but it was a very good knife. So let's see. I've been wanting some slippies. Yeah, slip joints are great. to have around. One of the nice things about a slip joint is you can stick it in your watch pocket, or you can stick it down inside your pocket of your pajamas. Um, so let's see. Guys, if you're just dropping in, Savannah will be back. She's trying to figure out what's going on with her internet. She keeps freezing up, and it's not making it easy for her to interact. This is a great looking knife right here. And hey, I think she just popped back in. It's a nice thing about having my headphones on. I can hear. She has returned.
Hello.
There we go. She's back. It seems to be
I'm
working.
on my phone, but I can still see everything. So I got the computer like on that side. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's I sometimes will have that set up like that. Like I have a whole separate window set up where I can see the Rumble chat.
Cool.
So let's see here. I was just showing him the Clinch River swayback, and that is a good looking knife. I saw it on I think it was on your Instagram.
Mhm.
You had posted up the picture of that, and I was like, that's such a good looking knife.
Man, I have to say, I am so happy that happened. Not just like for Rosecraft, but for Andy. Like Andy has designed so many knives, and for this to be his favorite design, we've been open now like for like a year, and he got that award, was just awesome. I'm so happy for him because you gotta think we had submitted quite a few things, and we thought maybe it'll be like Best Buy, for like the Appalachian Jacks, it was only $35, and then it was like maybe innovative for the Zambezi, and then we go through all the lists, and I'm like, we're looking at each other like, this is the end. We probably didn't win anything, and then boom, he won that. That was just wild.
Yeah, I remember. I remember when we were there. Remember we were talking about it at Blade Show West, and your knife, the Myalea got entered into one of the things. My knife got entered into something. Chris's knife got entered into something. All of us were looking at the knives that we were going up against, and I went back to the table. Everybody's like, "You think you got a chance?" I was like, "No, they got me up against Bob Terzuola. Are you fucking crazy? There's no way I'm winning." They're like, "Best new tactical knife." I was like, one, it's not a tactical knife, and two, there's a Terzuola over there. We know who's going to win. There's no way. No way. I can't remember. I can't remember. Yours was up against another really good small folding knife. It was like, I don't remember, but I do remember that all three of us, like, they were like, "Oh, you all got knives in the contest." And Dylan was like, "Do you think you're gonna win?" And I was like, all of us were like, "No."
No. Well, we didn't think we were gonna win this either. That's why it was so surprising. You enter just to have fun, kind of get it out there. When they said it, we were all like, "Really? That's awesome."
No, that's
like, holy crap.
That's good, especially like you guys, like you said, you guys have only been doing it for like a year.
Yeah, we debuted at Blade Show last year. So this Blade Show, we were a whole year old.
Yeah, and I was, like I said, we were looking at some of this. I was showing them the ones that you sent me, because you sent me this. You sent me this one.
Yes, the Awanata, the little knife.
And it is a really good little knife. But then this,
the Mohawk.
I don't remember if I'd seen it before, but I do remember that I just clicked on it. I was like, "Oh, I like that harpoon shape. That is pretty cool."
That is Scott's favorite knife, like hands down. That is 100% one of his favorite knives from us, and it cracks me up because he uses that thing for everything. And like Scav, Fireboy's cutlery.
That's okay. So that's where now I remember where I've seen it.
Yes,
it was on Scott's channel over at Fireboy's Cutlery. There you go. Now I remember who. I was running it through my head. I was like, where have I seen that?
Knife, I don't know where.
Yeah. I do have to do this. I do have to do this thing because YouTube absolutely does not. They're going to demonetize this feed. So if you guys are watching this and you are enjoying it, remember, this is not free. I'm paying for the software we're using. I'm paying for the internet, paying for the lights. And I'm giving up my time to provide you guys with this. So if you can drop a super chat, not just on my live feeds, Jared's, Choir Boys Cutleries, those guys, everybody's live feeds. If you can drop a super chat, It's awesome. We always appreciate it. But I would much prefer that you guys join a membership where you can get in on those benefits. So yeah, Scott says he absolutely loves it. And I've seen it in a bunch of his Instagram posts. That's where I've seen it.
Dude,
Was-
he's
I was-
about it, that thing. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, is it going to break? Please don't break. Please don't break. Like,
I was just texting him. I'm going to probably send him when I get done with the review on this. I was given one of the Warren Tax
oh no.
from Precision Knifework. Daniel sent me one of the ones that were done by QSP Cutlery. And this thing is an absolute laser. It's 0.018 behind the edge for production ones.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel took, I can't remember how many he said, but he took a bunch of these and then ground them down himself to 0.010 or 0.009, depending on how aggressive he got with the grind.
Yeah.
This is already a laser. I'm like, that is insanely thin for a Warrenclyffe hollow grind. And this thing is it's a laser. So yeah, I'm afraid that I'm gonna break that. That's why I'm always afraid. It's so thin. I'm like, it's one of those knives that I love it, but I'm afraid that the way I use it and stuff that I'm gonna knock the tip off of it, which I can fix that, but I really don't want to have to. Oh no! I gotta do this. I gotta find it. I gotta find my Scott gets the first kangaroo flute of the show.
Kangaroo flute?
It's a didgeridoo. I'm not good at it.
That's a fucking understatement. You fucking suck. Hey!
Who asked him? And custom. This is Daniel. This is Daniel over at Precision Knife. Daniel, this thing is amazing. I will get this over to Scab. I will get this over to Scott at this thing. I know we're talking about the Rosecraft stuff. I just cannot get over how good this knife cuts. It really is hard to not like. I'm going to wind up running out of cardboard because I just actually, I don't like doing cut tests really, like, or filming them. And I was outside with enough cardboard that I filled a 55-gallon 55-gallon trash can recycle bin halfway up. And I was just giggling. I was like, this is insane. I just couldn't get past how good it cut.
I would love to be like a passerby, like just to see what other people see when they drive by, like people doing these videos. Can you imagine? Like someone's actually been driving down the road and like Scab, like he'd be out in the backyard just like flashing stuff up. Can you imagine just driving by that and being like, well,
I want you to think. I want you to think about the fact I live just outside of San Diego, a town of 1 million people.
yeah.
I live literally. There are cars up and down the road. There's times where it's hot out here in the studio and I'm doing stuff, and I've got the door up, and I'm out here and I'm filming like little B-roll stuff, or I'm cutting, or I'm out here and I'm filming like because I was trying to film like a movie. I was trying to do a big long. I'm gonna stop sharing this for a second. I was trying to do this big, long, drawn-out video about the history of combat knives from the Bowie knife till now, and it's absolutely been it's horrible. I've filmed the first 3 segments like 9 times. It's been months that I've been working on it. And so I have the green screen, and I'm trying to do stuff that looks cool, and I'm wearing like different clothes and stuff, and I have the garage door open because like even today when it's 62 degrees outside with the lights, the studio lights and stuff on. It's 78 right now in here because we've been out here and there's all the lights on. So I'll have the garage door up because I'm not going to have any sound with that. And I'm out here with like a big Bowie knife, and I know my neighbors can see me, and I'm in front of the green screen. And they're like, this dude has got issues. Like they're like,
Literally.
we need a welfare check right across the street.
Right now, moving out, leaving. This is his neighborhood. Like I'm out.
Like either we need to move or we need to make sure we make friends with him, because when shit goes down, that's the guy that we want to come over to our house and help.
During the purge, that's where you're going, or hiding from. One of the two.
Will B says, you do suck, Mike. Let's hear it again. Sorry, I'm late. All right, let me see. It's a lot of times it's because I don't ever trim my mustache, and the mustache gets and blocks the actual. There's your kangaroo flute.
Is that like excessively loud?
It's not that it's loud. It just sounds like you're barking out of your ass, to be honest.
Hey. That's uncool.
So I absolutely probably should stop doing that because the dog is asleep and I don't have anybody watching him, and that's going to wake him up and he's going to attack the cat again.
Please
So
make sure he keeps the cat's head out of his mouth.
it's, oh my God. You guys know we do have the new puppy and he is into every fucking thing. He's chewed the corner of the table up. He can't, I don't know where he got it, but he pooped out a fake fingernail, like a glue on, like a Lee press on nail. And I saw it and I'm like, well, that's not good. And I told my wife and daughter, I was like, hey, press on nails, you got to put them away. My daughter was like, oh, what color was it? And I was like, it was clear. She goes, I don't have any clear ones. My wife was like, I don't either. They're all like the ones are like the French manicure ones. They're like the tan and brown. And I'm like, but then where did he find the one that came out clear? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, what the?
Okay.
Like we rent this place, so it could have been something that was underneath something, like way up underneath like the dishwasher or up under the refrigerator from when the previous tenants were here. But like, I don't know where he would have gotten that.
Man, I'm telling you, I cannot go through the puppy stage again with dogs, not for a while. Because the last one, my dad brought home this beautiful purebred bloodhound. And maybe it didn't go in clear. I thought that too.
I just thought the second that I read that is as I read it, I was like, yeah, that's true. You know, I didn't think about that.
Stomach acid probably cleared that off, you know. But my dad's dog, she's a purebred bloodhound, and like, oh, I really could have fought a dog on this one. She chewed up every pair of boots. All of my shorts were skirts. My jeans turned into chaps. I was like, what is this? And every time I would go to my dad and be like, hey dad, your dog chewed up my stuff again, he would be like, well, you should really put that up. No, you should really train your dog, man.
I had we had a German Shepherd and I had to be at work. We came home and I went to bed and I hung up my uniform, and this wasn't a puppy. I hung up my uniform to get ready in the morning because I had to be at work in camis. I was at a shore deploying unit. We technically were part of Spec War. I was at MESF, and I had to go that morning to be there at 4:30 in the morning at the armory to start uploading weapons so that we could go out to the field to do field training exercises for 4 days. And I woke up that morning and the dog had torn my uniform to pieces. Like literally there was pieces of, and I was like,
I would be so pissed.
it was the only uniform I had at the house. It was the only one that was ready to go. It was the only one that had the sleeves rolled. Everything else had just come back from dry cleaners and stuff like that. And I had to leave and go to my workplace and explain to them why I was not in woodlands and was in deserts. And I was like, I have got another uniform. I've just got to roll the sleeves. This is the only one that is ready right now. And they were like, I'm like, I literally took pictures. Like I literally took pictures of it and was showing them on my phone at the time. I was like, this is what I woke up to.
That's
and my senior chief was like, take that dog to the fucking pound. And I was
literally.
like,
Dude, some of the things that animals do to you and you just stick it out is wild.
That dog also ate a PlayStation Portable, like a PSP, like at the time, like $250, $300 video game system.
Oh my God.
Ate it. Yeah, she would get jealous. She would get jealous. The wife was pregnant at the time, and I wasn't. The wife was like, so wife was spending a lot of time laying down, and I wasn't apparently giving the dog enough attention, and she fucked my shit up.
Oh my
So I'm gonna add this back in. We can get back. I want to make sure that like
We do this every time. Every time we're talking about knives, we end up talking about a million other things.
oh yeah, it's just like that's why the last 2 times we talked, it turned into like an hour-long conversation.
Russell.
I wanted to about Russell. I wanted to ask you about this one. How well has this one performed? Because this, as much as I like the sway back, this one I think is the one that I like the most.
So that one is actually fantastic. I love that one. We just recently got the larger version of it. I don't know. I think I have it with me. Can you hear all the light?
Good God, that's loud.
Okay.
What the fuck is she doing in the background? Are you doing construction? Sounds like you're fucking pounding nails.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Here, let me no, here. I was just gonna give you full screen.
This is this one. I try not to mess with it too much, but I've used it on quite a few things. And I mean, obviously I'm not doing the cutting that a lot of other people are. Some people be a lot more, I don't know. I feel like some people are a little more aggressive with their cutting. I have cats and I hang out inside. There's not a whole lot that I'm doing, but for me personally, I think it fits really well. Now I do have a smaller hand, so this is a little river bend skinner. What I would probably recommend for you would be the river bend skinner, which is just a little bit longer. But the way that it sits, it kind of swells like right into your hand. I'm like going back and forth because this one's lagging. This one, I can see what's happening and it's freaking me out. But I love this one. I actually think it works really well personally.
Well, and I do appreciate the fact that you kind of judged what you sent me because we've shaken hands. And you're like, yeah, I kind of picked things that I figured would, I'm not a petite or dainty person.
See, well, like even the Zambezi, the main reason I sent you this one is because I was like, I know you like traditionals. I know you don't get to see a whole lot of them. And this one just looks so different that I feel like this is the one that's gotten a lot of people kind of back into traditional.
That one is actually the only reason that you're not seeing it is because that is on my bedstand because I took it out of the watch pocket of my jeans last night and I didn't wear jeans. I'm wearing 5. Yes, that's what that is. It's
nice. Must be nice having all these pockets. I had to pay $45 just to have like 3. It's ridiculous.
Look,
men with all your pockets.
Jeans come with 2 front pockets or 2 front pockets and a watch pocket. And that's where I put a traditional or slip joint. Actually, I'm a big enough guy that my watch pocket's big enough. I can put my exo gravity knife in a slip in my watch pocket.
When I got big, I still didn't get pockets, but like, good for you, man.
My daughter paid $60 for a pair of jeans. And I was like, she's like, well, I don't have any place to carry this. And I was like, put it in your pocket. She's like, those aren't pockets. And I was like, like, there are no pockets. There's spots that look like pockets, but there's no pockets. I'm like,
that's the most ridiculous thing.
That's like wiping before you poop. It don't make any goddamn sense.
Did you have to say it like that?
It's like putting an elevator in an outhouse. It just don't fit.
Jesus. I swear some of the things that you say, it doesn't catch me off guard anymore. It just makes me shake my head.
Yeah, no, I absolutely do carry that. And it's, like I said, it's upstairs. The other traditional that I carry a lot is one of my grandfather's old traditionals. And surprisingly, it's one that he carried, and I don't think he ever knew it was made in Japan. My grandfather was a World War II vet, fought in the Pacific, and as much as he complained about everything being made in Japan and the Japanese, he loved my wife. Like he met my wife, and everybody was like, "Oh, here we go." My grandfather, who was a World War II vet that was shot at and fought the Japanese at Iwo Jima and stuff like that. Yeah. Now gets to meet my wife that I met and married in Japan, and it absolutely went really well. He loved my wife so much. I took her fishing. They caught this great big catfish. I got a picture somewhere of them together. I was like he just took her and just like left you. No shit. I woke up. I went downstairs to get a cup of coffee. I was like, "Where's Yuka?" And she's like, "Oh, Dad came down." My mom was like, "Dad came down and grabbed her. They went up and went fishing." I was like, I would have went fishing." Come back, they've got this great big catfish that they caught in the pond on the farm, and I was like, "I would have went fishing." And he goes, "You weren't up." I was like, "I didn't know you were coming." I was like, my wife still had jet lag, so when he showed up, she was awake, and he was like, "Get in the truck, we're going fishing." They caught it on a piece of Swiss cheese.
That's wild. You really can fish with just about anything.
Well, catfish will eat anything. They're bottom
Literally.
feeders. Suck it up. If it stinks, they'll eat it. Nico says that's what happens when that happens being friends with Michael. You just start shaking your head a lot. Like,
Okay.
did he really say that?
5 seconds.
Huh?
I said Nico shakes his head at me like every 25 seconds when we work shows. He's like,
Nico does this a lot. I say something and he goes,
I recognize that too.
yeah,
I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, you get that a lot. So are there any new models that are coming that aren't on the website that you want to show people that will be on the website soon?
Okay, so I have a few.
I gave you solo layout because I'm going to grab something really quick.
Okay.
I didn't go real far.
I didn't go real far. So this one's my absolute favorite. It's the Rex. This is Hawkins' new design. And this is the version with marble carbon fiber in it, which I thought.
Ooh. I just jumped back in. I was like, ooh, I like that.
And this
yes.
So this one's going to be about like $20 less, but it's really kind of up to you if you like micarta or if you like marble carbon fiber. I fought tooth and nail for this marble carbon fiber. They're like, well, I don't know. I'm like, no, I want it. It's not even my design, but I was demanding it.
It is, Thomas. It is.
But this one, I mean, it feels really good. It's got that harpoon style blade, the tanto. I mean, it is just really pretty.
I do like that. I'm not even a fan of the Americanized Tonto so much, but that's a good looking knife.
Dude, this is my favorite of all of his designs. It's fantastic. It feels really good. I am so excited to see how it's going to patina. You know what I'm saying? Some copper patina is just a little bit different whenever they put stuff over it, but
that's what I was going to say. A lot of companies, when you get, and I wish they'd stop doing it. A lot of companies will send you copper and there's like some coating,
yes,
and it just never patinas. And I'm like, I don't want that. I want just raw copper.
Right.
But I get that a lot of people don't take care of things the way they would need to.
Yeah, but that's kind of the best part of the patina is that it just looks awesome. And I need a crap.
You need a crap?
No, I need a charger. My phone's gonna die. God bless. I'm gonna stab myself.
Let's see how this goes, because sometimes when people do this and they plug in a charger, it kills the audio. We'll see how this goes.
Can you hear?
If you have an iPhone, you know what? If you didn't want to be vertical, I think it will work horizontal on the phone. I just don't remember.
I
think it does.
And it wouldn't allow access to no, don't allow. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Cool. All right.
Okay, cool. Why I love copper, I can make it. Yeah, I was gonna say so Thomas Connolly says he prefers micarta over carbon fiber. I do too, but carbon fiber sometimes can be done really well. I prefer like as an accent as opposed to just like the entire scale. I think it kind of loses its attractiveness when it's the whole thing. I think a small, a small and not even a big inlay, like a small thin inlay or like several small inlays, just give it a really good look. But if it's done well, it's attractive. And I do have to admit, knives that are full carbon fiber are so light.
Well, what gets me is that like a regular carbon fiber versus the marbled carbon fiber are just completely different things. Like I like carbon fiber. I think it looks cool and whatnot, but it's not just like super sustainable. I mean, it's going to eventually fall apart. I've had that happen on a couple of knives, which sucks.
But carbon fiber, you've had it delaminate?
Huh?
You've had carbon fiber delaminate?
Mm-hmm.
I've never had it happen with carbon fiber, but I have had it happen with G10, and it was, I have to admit, It was a Columbia River knife and tool knife, so we're not talking like super high quality.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Well,
I have never had it happen. But I do occasionally, like if it's just plain carbon fiber and it's done well, like
yeah,
like Monterey Bay Knives is really picky about how they do their carbon fiber.
right. And that looks really nice too.
It does. And this is that I was talking about. You were talking about the slayback or swayback. This is the slayback. That's that Ray Laconico. And I like a good swayback style, which this is. This is the same kind of swayback.
Mhm.
You get that S. But what people don't think about is it's in this type of cut where you put it on your chest and you're cutting through wood. This is such a good grip because it swells the other direction.
Oh, for sure.
So
Well,
good for like cutting rope and stuff like that. It's just amazing.
I will say the knife that I had that it happened to, it probably was my fault. I had left it in like the beating sun of my car for like 3 months. And then I took it out and I was doing other stuff with it. And then it's not like it just completely came off, but you could just see where it was just kind of coming apart. And I was like, well, that sucks. Probably.
I've never had it happen, but there's the resin. I've never had the resin go bad, but it depends. Like I've seen my Carta that delaminates, and I've had G10 that did, but I've only ever had it happen on one knife. I went to go grab this. This is a slip joint. Can you tell that it's old? This is a slip joint that spends so much time in my pocket. This was my grandfather's.
That's awesome. Dude, I
This
saw
is old.
that was like, it just looked like a wooden handle and you pull it off and then you flip it open and put it back in. You know what I'm talking about? No? Okay. I didn't explain it well either, so I didn't think you would, but
I'd have to see it. It
looked like it wasn't a slip joint. It was just a very, very old knife that it's like the handle you take the wood off, and then inside of it, you could basically front flip this little knife. And when you put the wood back on, it was like a fixed blade.
Okay. So we had we had some utility knives that were like that on the farm, and it had several different blades in it. You would just like open it and you would slide it back. It had like 3 different shaped blades in it. And that knife lived in the tack room where all the saddles and everything were.
Nice. I had never seen that before. That was wild.
I don't know what it would be called. And it had a almost like a sheep's foot style blade, and then it had
Spay blade.
What?
Did it have a spay blade?
I can't remember. I know it had kind of like a curved, almost like recurve style blade that was in there with it, like not really recurved, but just kind of just very, very not like a hoof knife or anything. But yeah, I don't know. It was actually pretty good. I had a couple little blades in it. So my grandfather had all kinds of weird stuff. He went to estate sales. Like we had literally a box full of straight razors that just like they were just like on the farm. He had an old like not taxidermist, but like a veterinary syringe that still had like the leather washers in it.
Oh my God. Why?
And I was like, what do you use that for? And he would use it when he'd cook. He would fill it. He would use it. Like, I take like flavored the marinade and stuff, and I pump it in. It was the first person I'd ever seen use like a flavor injector, and he used this great big, like it was like that big around, like metal with a glass tube in it and leather syringe. It had a big, huge needle the size of a fucking pencil lead that he would use.
Oh my God. I had to give myself insulin. And when like the first few times I had to take the shot, like I had to make somebody else do it. And then I was like, okay, I got it. I can't do it. No, I can do this. And it took me like 8 tries. And I had to take it, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I had to drink a beer, take a shot. And I was like, all right, I have the audacity. Let's do it. And I told my doctor that, and she was like, don't do that again.
Yeah. First of all, if you're taking insulin, you shouldn't be drinking beer.
Okay. First
going to fuck your blood sugar up.
Oh, no. I don't have diabetes. I was just fat. That's what I use for weight loss.
Guys, we had a conversation about this while I was driving to the post office yesterday. We had this whole conversation, and she said something. Who was it? Was like, oh, I didn't know you were pregnant. And I was like, I learned when I was like 19 years old and I was in the military, I learned unless you actively see a woman in the act of giving birth, you never ask when a woman is due.
Well, like,
Just turned out that this lady, I was like, oh, when are you due? She's like, it turned out she was just fat. And she was very upset with me.
Yeah, I was kind of pissed. Well, because the thing is, I had a lot of health issues. That's why I gained so much weight so quickly. And I remember I saw, it was like someone from high school had seen me. She's like, oh my God, you look so different. I was like, fat, it's okay. It's not bad. I get it. I know. I buy my clothes. What would get me is the people on lives that would be like, wow, you really let yourself go. I'm like, bro, shut up. Like, but like I told you yesterday, since everyone
That's not cool.
everyone assumes that I have a child. I do not. There is a baby I post. She is my niece. I have birthed nothing. So if I get pregnant, I will make sure I wear a shirt that says, yes, this time I am pregnant and not just fat. Okay. Got y'all. It's okay.
Yeah. I made the statement we were talking about. I made the statement that like, I was on someone else's podcast on a Rumble. It's another veteran. It was a veteran podcast. A bunch of people really got upset because I was like, look, fat is not pretty. Like people are like, fat is beautiful. I'm like, no, it's not. And they're like, and I went back on and I had gotten to like, they were like, wow, you got some hate comments. And I was like, let me reiterate and explain why. I am 49 years old. I'm retired. I got 2 bad knees, a fucked up back, and a shoulder I've had surgery on like 4 times.
Yeah.
Like I don't run anymore. If you see me running, keep up because something bad has happened. Like if you see me running, there's a fucking reason. And I was like, I'm like 15, 20 pounds over what my optimal weight would be. Like I'm 15 pounds over what I would have been maximum allowed in the military. And that's not like fat. And I see myself when I get out of the shower, because to get to my dresser where my clothes are, I have to walk not only past the closet mirrors, but the sink mirrors to get, I see myself from 2 directions at the same time. I was like, that's not pretty. Fat is not attractive. Like you can get upset about that comment, but I see myself every morning when I get out of the shower naked, and I'm like, yeah, no, you can say all you want, but big is not beautiful.
Here's my thing is, yes, you should love yourself at any body weight, any size. You should love yourself, but we should all strive to be more healthy, you know? And just feel like that's a easy thing to try and say diplomatically and not get canceled. Please do not get canceled, Mike.
Don't cancel me. I'm fat. It's okay. I can say that. Like when I go over speed bumps, shit jiggles now. And it never did that when I was younger. Like I feel like I don't like the way that fucking feels. But there's not a lot I can do about it.
Uh-huh. I'm not getting into that one with you. We already
I got news for you. I'll tell you what. I could possibly
Penelope, shut up.
I could possibly lose a lot more weight. But did you just throw a shoe at a cat?
I missed her.
Okay. I wasn't saying anything. I wanted to throw the dog off the balcony the other day. I possibly could get back to having a 6-pack, but the things that I would have to give up, like I like bacon and cake. I'm like, I'll make that decision. I like bacon and cake. I'm fine with that.
Oh no, here's the crap thing about this, okay? I cut out all carbs, no bread, no rice, no pasta, no nothing like that for like 6 months. And
that sounds fucking horrible.
It sucked. And I only lost 18 pounds in 6 months. I was like, absolutely not. We're done.
I did that this morning when I took a dump. I'm like, that looks like a beached whale.
Jesus.
It's clear out of the water.
No, I don't know. Jesus.
I say things occasionally just to try and see if I can get my guests to just Jesus Christ. Yeah. And it always makes me happy when I do.
Hey, listen, I like to say morbid stuff to some people just to get the reaction. It makes me really happy.
Ask Nico. He knows. Like, I'm not going to get into it either. I don't want to get my channel taken down. But yeah, there's things that I say to Nico and he's like, what the fuck, bro?
Oh, I know. We've had a few conversations and he's like, you can't say that. You just can't say that. I'm like, yeah, it's not illegal. It's just frowned upon, Oh,
But
See, he's like, there you go. You know, you're talking to a woman. I was like, I do, but I also know that I talk to swags and I know what kind of person I'm talking to. So it's fine.
trash can. I clean my life up. I'm more of like a recycling bin now, but you know.
No, it's all. I always enjoy having you on the channel because we have these little goofy interludes. So you showed that. Is there any other knives that are coming
Yes,
soon
quite
from
a few.
Rosecraft?
This one.
Oh, hang on.
This one's the Terracona. So I
Oh,
really love this knife. It's got that really sleek handle. It feels really good. And also, Josh Weston actually picked this one up for his 10-year-old daughter. And I never really thought about it, but he likes to make sure that there's a flipper. So it's kind of like a guard and not going into like, you know, not going to cut their hand. He's a lot nicer. Yeah. I'm just going to let you cut yourself and you'll figure out from there. You don't like that. Or maybe you do, and then I just take the knife away. I don't know. But this one, the Terracona is the dragonfish. Is kind of like what the idea was. All of our second line of knives have weird names, and you just got to figure out what language and what animal it is. But it comes with this orange pivot, and you can also do one with a blue pivot. I don't have that one with me.
I absolutely, that's what I was going to say. I absolutely love the pops of color on knives. Like the little ones, like the red thumb studs on this. The second before I even really opened it up and used it, I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I'm a sucker for that.
I love color. There's so much black and OD green and desert tan, and like there's nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. I'm not tactical, man. I don't know if you've noticed, but like I like colors. I like pretty stuff. I mean, we also have the Tarkanis. Got that purple on there. I don't know if you can really see. I'm blind.
I'm trying to get back. I don't know what happened, but I can't see anything right now. I have a black screen.
Well, way to go. I thought.
Oh, there we go. There we go. It's back. Like I knew that it was still working, but my screen went blank, and I'm like, that's not good. What is this?
This is the Tarkanis. Because I just came back from Blade Show, I literally made sure I brought all of my notes because my brain is still melted. So there's that. But we got the purple, and it also comes in a red, and red and black, a purple.
I don't usually like purple, but that looks really good.
You said you don't normally like purple?
I usually don't, but that looks really good on that.
Okay to be wrong. Purple's fantastic.
It's just not a color. Like I like purple on some things, but typically I don't like. There's a few exceptions. There's been a few knives that had like a little purple accent, but that looks good on that. It's that really dark violet kind of purple on that. That looks good.
I love it. And this one actually is not my design. It does look like something I would design, but the handle's a bit different than what I normally come up with. I don't know if you noticed. I kind of just reiterate the same kind of ideas into different stuff. Like the Pocket Monster is just a mutantized Mylea. Totally is. But this one's another one that Andy actually designed the entire second line with the exception of the Eris Rex, which is Hawkins' design, because everything I was drawing was garbage. Like, I'm not lying to you. Everything that I came up with, and I tried to make it work, and like technically, functionality-wise, it worked. It just looks so freaking boring. And I was like, dude, I can't submit any of this. Like, this is awful stuff. Like, I don't want to put my name on it. But yeah, on the third round, which we're already working on that, I've got like 4 knives for that round. But this one, it's just, I didn't come up with anything fast enough. And we did everything really fast too.
Yeah.
But this one, Tarkanis, got the Terracona, and then this one is the Kifara. It's the Rhino knife. It's in Micarta on the handles, and all of the ones I've just shown, they've all been RPM 9 ceramic ball bearings. Artisan does OEM a lot of our moderns, but we actually go through 5 different factories. And disclaimer, because I've been asked this question a bunch at the show and in DMs. Number one, I do not own this business. I was a bartender like 2 years ago. I could not afford to own my own business. Secondly, we are not USA made stuff. I don't know why that's been getting out there, but a lot of people are like, well, I thought you said you're USA made. We are not. We are local US designers in Maryville, Tennessee, but we OEM, all of it is made in 5 different factories in China right now. Within the next 4 to 5 years, we are going to build our own factory in Maryville, though. That is
That's been a thing that has been like a lot of people are complaining, like because like Artisan, CJ or Artisan and Beyond EDC and a couple other companies, and they're like, "Oh, you guys say you're an American company," but I was like, "Look, that's no different than Jim Skelton having his knives done OEM in factories in China. No different than Eric Oaks or any of the other companies that do that. You guys are just making the assumption, and you're not like you're looking at
Right.
like independent designers that are doing OEM and not throwing a fit. But the second a company does it, you're throwing a fit." And they're like, "Oh, it's not an American company." I was like, then you need to talk to your designers that you love and hold dear to your heart. And like, oh, because they were a custom maker and now they have a line of knives that's OEM. That there is no difference between that. And that's become a thing where people are just throwing a fit and they immediately like, well, it's Chinese company. It's not. It's an American Artisan is an American owned company. Beyond
Right.
EDC is an American made company. Rosecraft is not American made, but an American owned company. There's several others that are doing the same thing. It doesn't matter whether you're having knives made in Italy or China or Taiwan. Spyderco has a lot of their knives made in Taiwan and Japan.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Well,
still an American company.
realistic. There's no way to start a brand new company, have your own factory, have your own forge, have your and like have a knife for $35. You know what I'm saying? It's just not realistic. Which a lot of people are like, well, you could. I don't know how much money you think I can produce here, but there's just so much more that goes into it. Now, our 5-year goal is to have our own factory in Marable, but I mean, it does just take time, and we've all got to learn how to do that stuff. And plus,
Well, and then you have to think about you've got to hire either you guys are going to have to learn to run machines yourself, or you're going to have to hire someone to run the machines to do it for you, and that's a pricey that's a pricey skill set.
it's a pretty penny. I will say I do want to learn how to do all the stuff myself, though. I hopefully am going to get to meet up with Kayla Cummings at some point, but all of us have a very ridiculous schedule. But her and Melissa, we're all going to try to get together and like show me some stuff about forging and whatnot, because I really did learn everything backwards. Like, you got to think, I got my first knife in February 2019. Now I have 6 designs out. Like, I mean, I did everything really fast and not in order. Like, I've never ground it, but I want to learn all those things. So that way I can actually, I don't know, for some reason, I just feel like I have no business here until I start learning more stuff,
Well, and so you guys know we've talked about, like Savannah and I have talked about her coming out, and we filmed some videos where I'm teaching, and it would be like a video series where I'm teaching her how to like I could teach you how to grind because I've got the grinder here. I could teach you how to do hollow grinds and how to sharpen, like hand sharpen from like a factory edge to a hand edge consistently with different stuff and the different tools you need for that and the skill set. And that would be like a video collaboration where you'd see it on both channels.
It would be really fun. There would be a lot of cussing.
Yeah, there would. It'd be fucking horrible.
Yeah, well, like, dude, you have no idea how much of a klutz I am. Like, I've already accepted the fact that if I learn to forge, I'm losing one of my fingers. I'm just hoping it's going to be on the left hand because this one's just useless anyway.
I wouldn't say you're going to lose a finger, but you're going to burn yourself a few times badly.
I'm burning myself, believe it or not. That doesn't really bother me as much. But I mean, I burn myself all the time because, I was a hair and makeup artist, so I burn myself with like curlers and all that stuff. But I've also burned myself in fryers whenever I cooked in the kitchen. So I can accept that. It's marketable either way. If I lose a finger, I'd want y'all all to know I'm going to market that as hard as I can.
I made knives, but the worst I ever burned myself was on a 50 caliber machine gun. We had been shooting and it got hot, and we had the hot barrel gloves, and you used them to change the barrel because you could swap barrels out, pull one out, let it cool down, put a new barrel on. And we were doing fast change outs, and somehow the hot gun glove got wet, and I grabbed the barrel and steam burned my hand, and I burned the abs. You know how bad a steam burn is. I burned the absolute shit out of my hand.
As I was about to say, steam burns, I swear, are worse than like a direct heat burn sometimes. Like, it just, oh man, that sucks. That sucks.
And by the time you it's like a welding glove. If like when you're welding, like welding gloves, by the time you realize it's hot, you cannot throw them off fast enough. You are already burnt. By the time you realize that's getting hot, you're fucking burnt.
Yeah, beyond that. Yeah, there's no fixing that one. Like, you're screwed already.
Yeah. So, Other stuff coming up. You guys got new designers that you're collaborating with?
Not yet, but I have been looking at some people. I would love to get into it. You know, I would love for us to get another female designer. 100%. We need more women in it. I'm always vouch for that. Gosh, I don't know. I don't want to say anything that's gonna like. I don't want to get in trouble for like spreading information, but I'll say this. I saw some new designers at the show that were just so thoroughly impressive that we're definitely thinking about, you know, some other options. Where are you going?
I'm going to close this door because my family just came back.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I swear to God, I get so many emails like a day that I need to just change my like email entirely. It's ridiculous.
I was telling Nico because now that the channel once my YouTube channel hit like I think when I hit like 10,000, I started getting so many emails. I have gotten to a point where I get about 300 emails a day. So I cleaned out all 3 of my inboxes the other day when I was talking. I was like, yeah, I just cleared them out, and I looked, and this was 2 days ago, and I already have like 500 emails total. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking nuts.
Do you read them at all?
No, I don't read them.
Okay, hold on one.
It's all trash. It's all trash. Like I look for specific things. Like I got like I'll go through and I look because I do get like questions from like the YouTube channel has an email address associated with it. And that one I go through and I look and see. And I always have to like the channel sponsor, like I try and keep track of anything they're sending me, like, hey, we want to do this, but they have a Discord where I can follow. So most of my emails trash, but I have a tendency to delete things that I absolutely need. Like Elliot sent me all my design files, like for my dagger and for the drop point and for the modified version of the stonefish and all this stuff. And I deleted them and I had to email him back. I was like, hey, can you send me those files again? He goes, I just fucking sent them to you. I was like, oh, I know.
I know you did. That's not the point.
I know, but I saved them to my desktop this time.
I have 56,000 emails I have not opened that are just sitting on my phone. And everyone always, they're like, are you not going to read that? No, I'm not.
How can you live like that? Like when I see like 1,000 next to the little icon on my phone, I'm like, I got to do something.
I already told you I'm a recycling bin. I don't know why that you're even surprised. I can't handle notifications on anything else but my email. I know what kind of trash is on there. I don't care. If there's something that I need, so I have 4 different emails, right? I read none of them. And when I was at the show, there was a guy that came to me and he was like, yeah, no, like I emailed you. I've been trying to talk to you for this whole past year. I even called. You didn't answer. And I'm like, oh no, because that does sound like me. I'm horrible about that. And he's like, no, I'm just fucking with you. I was like, what? Like, don't do that to me. I felt so bad. And I was just like, oh my God.
Okay, so Todd Carr was like, that's what happens when you order from Cutlery Corner Network. I did order some Frost Cutlery stuff from Cutlery Corner Network one time on a live feed because the subscribers and viewers paid me to do it. They sent super chats for it. And I absolutely did. But I have to tell you, they butt fucked that email so bad that I had to shut down that email account. Like I couldn't, like I was getting literally like 10 emails a day just from Cutlery Corner Network.
Oh my God, that's wild. Absolutely not. Right now, I'm just taken over by all the pizza that I order. So like Papa John's, Domino's, and Pizza Hut have all emailed me while I've been talking to you.
Oh, I haven't had pizza in so long.
God, I love some good pizza. Don't get me wrong, I like a specialty pizza. Like, you know,
I should get pizza. I think I'm gonna get pizza. Yeah, I'm gonna get pizza.
I do not like that voice. I don't like it. It's creepy and it freaks
me out. It is. I know. That's why I do it. It's horrible.
He said, I know. That's why I do it. Thank you.
I told you that like when I'm playing video games, Bubbles can attest this. Like I will play video games with my headphones on and the microphone. And I sound like a normal person. I won't say horrible things. I won't do horrible things in the game. If I put that voice filter on, I'm going to do the worst things possible in the game. It's like, that's my inner demon voice. And I'm like I will play a game and I literally walked up to a campsite while playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I wouldn't have done this, but I heard myself saying it. I was like, close casket, and lit the body on fire. Like I tied this guy up and lit him on fire with a fire bottle. I wouldn't have done that. Like I was playing, I'm trying to do a clean playthrough of that game. I played with that voice. I was like, close casket. Actually, it was like,
Oh my god.
I was like, I got one word. Well, it's two. Close casket.
Oh
It's-
my. First of all, I don't even play games, so I don't know what all you're doing in there or what kind of games you're playing. The only game system I have ever played on, well, I guess there's two. I played Nintendo 64, and I have played it's like a cube. It's a
the GameCube.
Game Boy.
No, it's GameCube. The Nintendo GameCube. It's a square one.
No, it's like a handheld thing.
Oh, probably Game Boy then, like an old like dot matrix fucking.
That's the only game systems I ever played, and
I've got a PS5 and 4 miniature game cabinets that they've sent me those. So I have I'll show you. Like this is how big of a game nerd I am. Check this out.
Okay, let's do this.
I literally have miniature arcade cabinets that are playable.
You know what? I don't judge. Do your thing. But one time I did try to figure out games when Hawkins was playing. I think it was called Apex. Do you know what that is?
Apex Legends. Yeah, it's that's more of a mobile game.
I don't know. But all I know is that I tried understanding it and it just was not happening. What is this? This is ridiculous.
It is an actual game cabinet.
What kind of time do you have on your hands just to go?
I don't sleep. You can ask Nico. I don't sleep. Like I finished editing at, well, watch this. It's booting up and it's going to start the actual game on the screen. Like there's a scoreboard.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight.
It's an actual video game cabinet.
Really cool, Mike.
They sent this, to be fair, they've sent me most of that stuff. Like I didn't buy that stuff, but yeah.
That is really cool. I don't know. I have just never been someone that could. I got good at Nintendo 64. I played Mortal Kombat and I played little racing games and like Tom and Jerry. But like I beat my dad one time, and he's a very sore loser.
All fathers are when they lose to their children. You're
Well,
like,
he
"You
was like
little
stomping.
shit."
He's like, no, that's BS. Da, 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 da. Boom. Heel goes through the Nintendo 64 and we never played again.
Well, I honestly, like last night, you can like the guys on the paying members. I have my gilded server for the paying members, and I told them because I have a game channel. I played video games until midnight last night, and then I was back down here in the studio at 4:30 or 5 o'clock this morning, cleaning up everything so I could set up for this. But I wanted to try and finish editing some videos that I had shot yesterday. I edited until like 10 p.m. last night. So I mean, like I literally am up. I worked like I did like 15 hours of filming and editing yesterday. So it's just I don't sleep a lot. I never have slept a lot, but I also have PTSD, and that's not like I don't like to sleep because that's when my brain is like, hey, guess what? We're gonna make you relive some of the worst moments of your life. And so I'm like, I'll pass. I'll just.
Why did that sound like a Family Guy skit right there? The way you just said that, like
My life is basically a big Family Guy skit.
oh my.
How many hours of sleep do I usually get? Tom, I usually get like, if I go to bed at midnight, I'm usually up like 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Bless your heart. That sucks.
I have not, like, it's been years since, like, my wife is like, I come downstairs and she's like, oh, you know, it's like 7 o'clock sometimes. And a lot of times that's because I wake up and I build the thumbnails that you see online and I can do them from my phone. So a lot of times I can do I use Canva.
How was
And
to do?
huh?
Whenever you did like my picture,
Yeah.
bet that was fun.
No, it wasn't. It was actually, if you had been bald, it would have been so much easier. Trying to get like all that hair and like trying to remove the background and drop it in. I was like, this is ridiculous. Tom, Well, let me put it to you this way, Tom. Coffee Brand Coffee is a channel sponsor. I go through. I've went through 2 bags of coffee this week.
That's good for you.
Coffee good, make heart go brrr. It's good.
God, you know, I say that. I used to chug like, because I was a bartender, I'd have like 6 or 7 Red Bulls a day. So can't really say much.
How do I always look so fresh and well rested? I drank so much when I was younger, I basically embalmed myself. It's not a lie. Yeah, about 4 hours of sleep a night. Like, it doesn't matter what time I go to sleep. I'm gonna wake up at 4. Like, I'm gonna wake up at 4. I did it for so many years because I would wake up at 4, regardless whether it was a PT day or not, and I would go for a run. Like, I would go for a run before the command went for a run. I was running like 6 miles a day, and twice a week I'd run 8 or 10. I'm gonna have a caffeine related heart attack. I just drink a lot of coffee. I like coffee. I've had. I'm not gonna. I don't want anyone to be alarmed. The size of this cup will hold a half a pot of coffee, and I've had 4 cups of coffee today.
That's why your give a damn's busted. You're like through the roof on caffeine. Like, my goodness.
It's 1:30 p.m. I was like, I literally, I was like pouring that. I was making I made a half a pot before. I remember I told you I was making coffee. I was like, half a pot, that'll work. And I filled it, and I was like, I filled this cup here, and people are like, your coffee cup's nasty. And I was like, do you ever wash it? I was like, it's never empty long enough for me to wash it.
Jesus. My dad drinks some, it's like a 32-ounce guzzler cup of coffee. He'll have like however many he feels like per day, like up to like 5, 6 normally. And I'm like, yeah, this is why you don't sleep.
There is a recommended daily allowance of caffeine that you're supposed to have. And somebody told me that one time, well, it's only supposed to be this many milligrams per day. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I had, so at my last, before I got put on Limdo, when I was working over at MESF, we
Mhm.
worked in a Connex box, and the guys would see me come into work, and I'd have one of the great big monsters, the sugar-free monsters with the twist top, like
Yep.
the great big one.
Oh yeah.
And I would drink one of those, and then I would go into the coffee mess, and I'd fill my coffee cup up, and I'd drink like 2 or 3 cups of coffee, and then I would have a second monster, like a regular size monster that they sold at the unit, and I would buy it from, that's how we raised money for the first class mess. And the guys are like, "You've had 2 monsters and 2 big cups of coffee." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, at lunchtime the one day I walked in, and I was like, "Hey, you guys going out of the compound for lunch?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Why? You want us to pick you something up?" I was like, "No, I just want you guys to like close the door on your way out. I'm gonna take a nap on the couch." And they're like, "Fucking how?"
Yeah. My dad does it. He goes right to bed right out. He drinks his coffee as he's going to sleep. I'm like, dude.
I'm pretty sure that I am basically self-medicating ADHD. I think that's what it is, because I will actually get sleepy when I drink coffee.
That's ridiculous. I'm trying to see if I have my yoga for you to see.
Everyone in the comment section got excited. They're like, she's gonna do yoga. And I was like, no, no. It's bad. Bad children.
Here's the yoga.
Ooh, hang on.
Here's one. It comes in a few different colors. So you can do gray or green or red. Obviously with black. But it's just a sleek little thing. It's kind of like another version of the skate, to be honest, in my opinion. But
I like that. What is it?
better.
Yeah, it's got a really good grind to it.
Oh yeah, I think it's ridiculous. If I can show it on here.
It's reversed. It's gonna be weird.
How about that?
I like that. That's a good. I like a nice slender, straightforward blade. Doesn't I don't I like to have a lot of, that's why I like Warren clips. I like to have a lot of straight, like flat edged area. And a lot of knives, unless they're like I said, like this is really good for like skinning. You want something like that. You want all that belly because you want to do all this. But for most of the stuff that I do these days, I want a really nice straight edge. And a lot of knives just, it's too much belly, just like all belly. And I'm like, that's just doesn't work for me. And that's why I like the Ajuda. It's got a lot of straight and then just a little bit of belly up front.
I wish I had the other version of this. So on
I'm like, why did I never solo at that exact moment? Like, we're gonna get taken off YouTube.
Or you're gonna get a bunch of subscribers. I don't know.
Hey, subscribe. I'll have Savannah on more often.
So this one and this one, both of these. This one is the Wea. I haven't shown you this one yet. But we also do a white G10, which I love it. A lot of people are worried if it gets like dirty and whatnot. It comes right off with some knife oil. It's super easy. But
or dish soap and a brush.
Oh, come on. I don't even brush my own hair. I have knife oil more often.
Fair enough.
But this is actually another one that has a really good feel to it. And you got a good, for it to be kind of a smaller knife, you know, closed up, it's got a good sized blade too. You can do a lot more with. But it does come with that white G10 and I love it. A lot of people are like, oh, it's like Stormtrooper. I think more like Tuxedo Cat vibes, but regardless, definitely
I had English, Mike, do you speak? I had never seen a knife in person in white G10, and Jared sent me one that is a Civivi Cachet that's done in the textured G10, but then it's got a checkered pattern in it, and I was like, that is possibly the best looking knife I've seen. And the same thing, I got it all dirty and I wanted to film the video, and I mean, it was filthy, and I was like, I just took it to the kitchen, a little bit of dish soap on a stiff brush, and I'm like, it looks brand new. People are like, I was like, it's fiberglass and resin. It's not like you're gonna stain it permanent unless you go out of your way to stain it with like the proper like chemicals.
Right. Well, a version of it would look like that. This one. So I thought
that
isn't that pretty?
Looks good. I like that.
Oh wait, my fingers are in the way. I thought that was really pretty. I thought that looked really nice.
I like that. And they're right. It does have a very Stormtrooper vibe to it.
Oh yeah. Gosh, I'm missing some of the knives. I literally had to go to work, grab my computer, someone's computer. I don't care. I had to go all the way there, grab the computer, and I still forgot to grab the other knives I wanted to bring. But
I mean, we can always do this again when you guys start getting product in hand. We can do this again. And when I get some of these products in hand, we're going to start getting it set up so that I can point people in your direction with an affiliate link. I won't just to be transparent, the way you guys' affiliate system works, I don't make any money.
No, it's not a program. It is an ambassador program. Yeah. So you don't make any money. It's simply that people can use your code and they can just get, 10% off. But I think I can't say this out loud. I'll tell you later. But this is the other traditional. What did you say?
She said she can't say that out loud, and I want you to think about the things that she has said. So it must be fucking horrible.
Don't want to talk about like ambassador stuff. Like,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, so show us the other. Let's see here. There we go.
Oh my God.
The other traditional that you were trying to show me.
Oh, it's this is the Beaver Creek Barlow, and it's got that bourbon bone. No, DoorDash, I don't want anything. It's got the bourbon bone on it, like the clincher.
I like that. You know what I like about it the most? Like typically, I don't like logos and billboard. I don't like argue about it. I'm just like I would prefer not to have big logos and stuff on my knives, but that looks very good on that bolster.
Nice logo, and I think we're wanting to kind of switch to that over this one up here, which is the. Let me see if I can.
I've got it on the box for the Zambezi. Yeah.
So I mean, we like that logo, but I think this like interlocking RC just looks really nice.
It does.
It's been one of my favorite knives. Just the way it feels. It's the smoothness over here. You don't have anything too crazy going on, but I mean, it's just kind of straightforward. feels good in hand. It's not too hard of a pull, but it's hard enough that, you know, it's not going to open up in your pocket. There's that like a real weak pull, and I get that. Like, let's see.
Hey, look, David from Hiking with David Horseman, Hiking with a Viking. Since you're here, I mentioned you in a video that's upcoming. I'm going to be sending this to you to see how it performs on maybe an elk hunt. I've never had anybody try to skin out an animal with AR RPM 9. So this is an AR RPM 9, and it is, David, it is like, knowing that I've hunted and I've skinned this, I think it will be great for that. So I will be sending this off to you so that you can test it. Yeah. See, ooh.
I'm down.
There's his response. Ooh. I'm down to try it.
What is the talk on that traditionally? You're talking about this one?
Or the walk and talk? No, the one, the bourbon bone.
Yeah. So if I can get it to make. So this guy.
Ow.
So definitely gotta get down to it, but I was told you're not supposed to do that because it's not good for the edge.
As not, if your knife is done properly, it's not going to slam into the back. That's
Well,
someone told you that had a let me clarify for that. Someone that told you that had a shitty slip joint that was not built properly and allowed the blade to actually snap into the back spring. It's supposed to do that. Like you're supposed to be able to do that. That's how you close a slip joint. Like if they told you that, they've never had a good slip joint.
Like they're like, you need to close it lightly, and I'm like, well, that's not as fun. I also get yelled at, and this one I know is pretty bad, but you know, like the back flick thing to the knives to open them that you're like not supposed to do because you mess up the detent.
Wrist flick, you mean?
I don't know, like.
Or you mean like when you snap it open, when you grab a hold of it like this, and you snap? Yeah, don't do that. Because not so much you can screw up the detent, but mainly because it's going to come flying out of your hand and it may be open and there might be someone behind you that winds up with a knife in their thigh. Like, what the fuck was that? You shouldn't do that.
It's not getting cut by a sharp knife ain't that bad. It's when they're dull that it sucks.
I'm not really concerned about the cut. It's when it comes flying out of your hand at high velocity and sticks into someone's leg like that far. That's going to pose a bigger problem than a cut. We have not heard. I want to hear. I haven't done it yet. I have the Ajuda, and it has a really good action. And I'm curious what it sounds like in the echo chamber.
Oh, God. Bet Charlie Puth could make that to a song.
Sounds pretty cool. We do that all the time. Certain knives have a really good, cool sound to it. Like this one has got when it goes back into detent, I think has got the cool. Check this out. This is what happens when you have too much free time on your hand.
You really do have a lot of free time on your hands. Like the fact that you're like,
you listen to the sound that the knives make. Yes, I do.
Oh, Charlotte.
Swags already has a knife in her leg, a tattoo. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but that's different than sticking out of your leg like full on like Ace Ventura Pet Detective 2. Like it's in the bone. It's in the bone.
Oh, Charlotte. My little kitten, she's like popping her head up. She's like, can I please come outside? No, you tear stuff up. But like, thanks for
you're a little terrorist.
Dude, that one's not the terrorist. Prosecco, the orange kitten, she's the terrorist. Oh, boy, she's a terrorist. She gets under the blanket while you're sleeping and decides, I'm going to play with your belly button with my teeth. Like it's
she named her cat after a wine. Yeah, I do know that. Like, I'm not completely uncultured. I do know that Prosecco is a sparkling wine.
I mean, the other cat we had was tequila, so we kind of wanted to keep theme.
See, that's more up my alley. Like, everybody like, oh, he knows what tequila is, but most people are like, he doesn't know what Prosecco is. I do know that Prosecco is a white sparkling wine.
The whole reason
I know these things.
Prosecco is because this cat, as a kitten, always acted like it was wine drunk, like falling off of stuff and whatnot, and it was just funny.
Wine drunk is not a good look.
Dude,
Wine drunk is so much worse. Like you're that is the worst. Well, I mean, I'm talking from experience of like Boone's Farms and Mad Dog 2020 and night the Night Train Express chicka 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 woo woo.
They sell the 2020 at the gas station right by my house. So I've been around that a few times.
Have you tried the orange?
What?
Have you tried the orange, the Mad Dog 2020 orange? It's
the peaches and cream though. That tasted like someone. Never mind.
So many bad experiences.
It's
So many poor decisions were made as a result of evenings with Mad Dog 2020. Like you wake up in the next morning, and you're like, why do my wrists hurt? I'm like, oh, because they were in handcuffs, motherfucker. That's why.
Yeah, no, I didn't have that. But I think one of the worst things I ever did, and this is like, I didn't really even drink until I was 22, right? But when I say that, I mean, like, I didn't drink consistently. Like, I drank a couple of times when I was underage. But one of the times, this is stupid. I don't know why we did it. It was a terrible idea. And so we had shots of gin and then Fireball, hot Sprite, gin, Fireball, hot Sprite. And there's about 17 of them. And I did all of it. And then I was broken. And they were like...
And then you threw up.
No, I didn't throw up, actually. Not
I bet you woke up the next morning and wished you had.
I did. Worse. I did the same thing of chasing, it was pineapple Captain Morgan rum with Goldschlager. I did throw up on that one.
Why do you hate yourself? Like, why do you hate yourself? I can't say anything. The worst I ever had. This is the sickest I've ever been. I was drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon out of the trunk of a Camaro in July in Japan, and it had not been in a cooler, and it had been in the trunk all day. My buddy's Camaro, he drives up and he goes, I'm like, bro, like I ain't got no money. He's like, why are you hanging out at the park? I was like, I had no money. I'm just hanging out. I'm gonna go over to the arcade. They had an arcade there where you could pay like a set price and just stay there for like as long as you wanted. You got a wristband that like it had like a chip or something. You just run the machines. And I was like, he's like, well, I got a bunch of beer if you want some. And I was like, sure. And he opens up his trunk and I grabbed it and I was like, that's really warm. And he goes, well, it's been in the trunk all day, but it's still beer. And I drank it. I was like, surprisingly doesn't taste too bad hot like that. It was like hot like tea. And we drank an entire case of that, split like a 12-pack each. And I have never thrown up so much in my life. I was like, we were along a quay wall at the park because I was, it was near Navy base. So we were at the water, and I'm on the waterfront, like leaned over the pier, like just throwing up into the water. And he's right next to me. He goes, this is just a bad idea.
Oh my God. You know what kills me is like I said, I have health issues. That's why I ended up taking the insulin, all that, right? So I throw up all the time. Every time I throw up, which is almost every day, it sounds like I'm summoning a demon deep within me.
Oh, you don't throw up well. Neither do I fight it. I fight it all the way.
I just try to get it out, and it's just hateful. It's just hateful as hell. My brother, all right, you know what? He doesn't go on the internet, so he goes.
He's a Luddite. He doesn't know what technology is. He lives in a cave outside of town.
Well, I was driving, and this man just kind of sticks his head out the window. I think nothing of it. I heard nothing. He's a silent puker. The next day, when I went to work and I walked around my car to grab my stuff, and I see the vomit over the entire side of the white car I was driving, I was like, you son of a bitch.
I had one of the guys that I used to hang out with on my first ship. He was a Hawaiian kid. He was an engineer on the ship. That doesn't mean he like went to school or anything. He just worked in the engine room. So Higuchi is the only person I've ever seen that could throw up running at full speed, not break stride, and not get anything on it.
That sounds awful. Why would you have to be put through that?
We were running. We had to get back to the ship. We had to. So we had gotten, like, somebody had gotten in trouble, and everyone from a certain pay grade down had to be on the boat at midnight. We had like a very limited amount of time. We left the bar. We were like, we're late, and we start running, and all the food and all the beer, like, and I
together, and
full dead sprint, did not break stride, threw up to the side and didn't like, not even, I was like, we got to the ship and we were like, we made it. Well, we had to be on base. So we just had to get to the base. We just had to be on base by a certain time.
Right.
And so fucking Gooch is standing there and I was like, are you okay, bro? And I was like, you're going to have to go change. He's like, why? And I looked at him. I was like, you didn't eat. How did you not get that on you? And he goes, I've done this before. Sailors are interesting. Like sailors that early 90s sailors that spent most of their career overseas. It was the out of sight, out of mind Navy. We went rogue. We went native. We were on our own playbook. We didn't pay attention to rules. Was this Tri-State EDC says, when I bought my first car, me and my girlfriend at the time went downtown to a party. I behaved, she didn't, and on the way home, she plastered a side of my brand new car with 6 hours worth of liquor. Ew.
Hey, listen, that's washable. You get to be pissed whenever she like dents your car.
I picked up a girl on my motorcycle for a date one time, and she wore a skirt, and I didn't realize it, and I kept feeling something flapping, and I didn't know what it was. Everyone on the road loved me, and I couldn't figure out why she was moving around so much. She was wearing a skirt on my motorcycle, and it blew up, and it was like up over, and I look in my mirror, and that's when I realized her skirt is like flapping around behind her helmet, and I was like, oh, that's what's happening. I was like, what is that? What do I keep hearing? And I was like, her fucking skirt was just flapping around.
One of the most embarrassing things I think has ever happened. It's not the most embarrassing, but it's pretty far up there. I used to work at a bank. I was a bank teller for like three or so years, whatever. Anyway, I'm walking outside and I'm gonna go, or I think I'm coming back in from my lunch break. It was one of our regulars who was there, and he was like, hey, Savannah, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. He's super sweet. And this gust of wind goes by, and I'm wearing like a parachute dress, right? So gust of wind goes by, and my dress goes all the way up to my neck. And and like, you know, I was wearing like wearing cute underwear and bra and whatnot, and I just swipe it down, and I looked at him, and his face is red, and I could feel mine burning. I went inside and immediately went to my boss. I was like, I have to tell you what just happened. Am I going to be in trouble? I don't know what to do. I'm like freaking like, I think at that point I was like 20 years old at that point. Okay. Something like that. And I was just like, I'm like, am I getting fired? Is that sexual harassment to him? I don't know. But like, I had never been so embarrassed at that point in my life. Then when my dress just comes all the way up to my neck in a gust of wind, and I'm like, you know,
I have to tell you a story. I don't think I've ever told this story. This is another Navy story. Okay. There was a guy named Kelly on my first boat, and this dude was like he was a great dude, and he knew it. He was ugly, like
okay,
horribly you looked at him and was like, what sort of accident happened that he was disfigured that way? Like he was that kind of ugly.
So
and he just could not get girls to go out with him. And so one night we're drinking with a Japanese friend of mine named Shinichi. And so Shin, that was his nickname. Shin was sitting there, we're drinking, and Kelly kept saying, he's like, I just can't get a girl a date. He's like, I can get you a date. He's like, I know a girl that would go out with you. And he goes, really? And so Shin sets up this date. And so Shin and I are out drinking the same night that Kelly has this date with this girl. And back then we didn't have cell phones. We had pagers, and I get a page from Kelly. And so I went and I called him because he had went back to his apartment. He goes, where the fuck are you? And I was like, I'm down at Kyoho's with Shin. He's like, oh, he's with you. Good. And I was like, yeah, why? And he goes, oh, I'm on my way. And so Kelly shows up at the bar. And this is like midnight. So the date was over, and he's mad. Like he's visibly angry. Like his face is very red. He's very upset. And he walks in and he goes, what the fuck, Shin? And I was like, oh, what has occurred?
What has occurred?
And Shin's like, money, like what's going on? And he was like, so I show up for the date. And he goes, and Shin's like, okay. And she's like, this girl shows up and she's wearing like a matching sweater and skirt, and it's a red Angora. And I'm like, okay, like I don't see the problem yet. And I was like, and he was like, she looked like a fuzzy tomato. He's like, that is the biggest Japanese woman I've ever seen in my life. She looked like a fucking sumo wrestler in a red beach ball. And I was like, oh no. And Shin's laughing, and I'm trying not to laugh. And he goes, look at you. He's like, look at you. Like, he's like, that got you the best I could give you.
You said you couldn't go on a date. I gave you a date. I didn't say it was going to.
I was like, he's got a point. You don't have a lot to argue here. But he's like, she looked like a fuzzy tomato. And I was like, oh my God.
That's ridiculous.
It's like, he was like, and then when he said she looked like, he wasn't a beach ball. He said she looked like a sumo wrestler wearing like a dodgeball costume, like the ball itself, like the red ones that we used in high school. And I was like, that is so fucked up.
Good way.
But like, he had a point. Like the dude was, and he knew it. Kelly knew, like he knew he was ugly. Like he had to look at himself in the morning every time he shaved.
At least, oh God, I don't want to get canceled either. But you know what? I don't think this is a different type of viewers. At least men can be like, yeah, I'm not the most attractive. You have some women out here with the most confidence I have ever seen in my life, and like chin hairs at the same time is wild. I'm like, you know what? Do your thing, do you, boo? But like,
I'm afraid of sundress season with the way things have went, because I'm afraid I'm gonna see an outline of something I don't want to see.
Oh my God, you know what I love is on TikTok. It's a whole thing of guys and getting their girlfriends' moo-moos and trying them on. And they're like, you know what? I like this. This is actually very nice. I'm keeping my shorts on.
Tri-State EDC is like canceled.
And you're done.
Yeah. No, it's I don't like getting into like the social commentary stuff. If you want to do a video, if you want to do one where we can just do like social commentary stuff, I'm gonna start up my podcast on Rumble again. The one that me and my buddy Polly from Purple Heart Barbecue were doing on here. It is not YouTube friendly. We had a couple episodes get taken down, and he was like, "Look, we're about to we lost the entire podcast channel. We were not YouTube friendly."
So,
but it was fun.
I do not get into certain discussions because I am an entertainer. I'm not a politician. I do not like having opinions. And Dolly Parton said to keep your mouth shut if you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? So I don't get into that. But on the phone, you've heard me say a lot of things.
Yeah. And people are like, I've said that. And people are like, oh, what'd she say? I'm like, oh, you need to talk to her. Well, I don't have her phone number. I'm like, there's probably a reason.
Okay, here's another thing. All right, I had to do this at Blake's show. I now, if I ever give a business card, none of my business cards have my phone number on it. Okay, it has my email. That's it. If you want to get in touch with me, you can email me. But if it's someone that like, I'm like, hey, if you have any questions, you can give me a call and I'll write my number down. I now have to tell people, please do not share my phone number with others, because I had someone do that, and someone called me and I was like, hello. They're like, hey, is this Sharp and Pointy Swags? I was like,
who the fuck is this?
I was like, yeah, who's this? And he was like, oh, well, I just want to ask you about some knives. And I answered all the questions. And I was like, can I ask, how did you get my number? Oh, well, I got it from this person. I was like, would you care? I was like, I don't mean to be rude, but I would really prefer that you don't keep it. This is kind of like my personal phone line that I don't want shared. And so he never called me again or anything. Sent me a text to my birthday. That freaked me out. But yeah, I know have to tell people.
I didn't have your phone number for a long time. We were just corresponding through Instagram, and then you were like, hey, here's my phone number. This is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, because I literally ever since I came back to social media, I just haven't been on it the same way. Because there for a while, I was on social media constantly. I was always posting stuff because I did the modeling. I was doing the stuff with Smokey. And then even after doing my own channel, I hit that point where I'm just like, and it's kind of morbid, but I've lost so many people, in less than 5 years, I started with my mom, ending with my best friend and 15 other people. And that's no exaggeration. So I've lost so many people. I'm just like, I don't like, if I spend my day and I have someone with me, I'm going to spend my time with it. I'm not going to be on my phone. And therefore I end up being poor at responses and posting and all of that stuff, which Andy, I felt his hands around my throat one time whenever we had a sale and I never posted anything. Uh, but that's why I don't really do it, is because I'm just like, I want to enjoy my life while I have it, because you don't know what happen, you know?
Well, and we were talking about, that's why I don't do the Monday night and Wednesday night live feeds anymore. I got a daughter that starts college in like 13 months. And I,
Ugly yourself up. That is the
yeah,
funniest video I think you have ever sent me.
I have, my daughter is absolutely gorgeous. She is.
Stunning.
And like, not just like, oh, you got a pretty daughter, like stunningly
It's
beautiful.
stunning. And like, she's an ice skater, and I don't want to say anything else about your daughter because that's not everybody's business, but
But she is very much a very quiet. She does school at home. She does her skating. She doesn't do anything. And so she got out to go on like a study day with her friend. And she goes out to get stuff. And she wasn't like dressed up like at all. She was dressed up for study. She just is very pretty. And but like I said, I'm missing all of that. And people are like, oh, you just are upset because YouTube's demonetized. I was like, no, the whole fact was I was spending money on running lights and things like that. I was giving up time. I was basically working all day Monday and Wednesday to film and edit, and then doing a live feed. And I was giving up any free time that I had, because Tuesdays and Thursdays when I wasn't doing live feeds, I spent the whole day editing. And so I just basically do it I treat Mondays and Wednesdays now like a day off. I take my daughter to school. I take her skating. And so those are her 2 in-school days. So I get to spend the morning with her, and then I get to take her to school. I come back, I do the live feed while she's at school, and then I pick her back up and we have the afternoon. And
Right.
when we get done with this, I'm spending the afternoon with the wife and kid. I was giving up so much stuff. And so that's why there was a schedule change. And that's why I don't do a Friday night and things like that, because like I was trying to be considerate of other YouTubers' schedules, and people just weren't reciprocating. I was like, well, fine, fuck it. I'll just do it on Saturday, and I'll do this on my time. And if people choose to watch it, then that's fine.
When
But
it
I
comes
just,
to family comes first, you know, and like spending
yeah,
time with people you care about, it means a lot. And like especially whenever you've lost enough people and you understand like how precious those days are, you know, things
yep,
just kind of change. And like, I am trying very hard to get back into the social media. For the longest, we didn't have anything for me to talk about. You know, I had the 12 knives. We had 12 knives
yeah,
in our lineup, and you can only go over that so many times because I'm not going to be fake to people online. You know, like, obviously, if you meet me in person, you see me online, there's gonna be a little bit of a difference because I gotta be marketable a little bit here.
yeah.
But I don't lie about things. I don't like being repetitive. I don't like being cheesy. That's just not my style. So now that we have more stuff and it's really exciting, you know, I'm telling you how much we have grown as a company in one singular year is ridiculous.
Sorry, just around. But I was trying to. Sorry, I was trying to change the volume on something, and I hit the wrong button. Sorry, my bad.
You're fine.
I
But
won't
it's
touch anything.
ridiculous how much we have grown. And you also got to think, whenever we like debuted at Blade Show, we had not known each other for a year yet. Like, Rosecraft Blades, our team is me, Andy, Hawkins, Chase, and Clay. Chase, Clay, and Hawkins all knew each other, right? Me and Andy knew each other. So you have basically like 2 sets of people kind of coming to me. We met 10 months prior to Blade Show, and by Blade Show, we had that's when we debuted.
You mean Blade Show last year or this Blade Show?
Last year.
I was gonna say, yeah, because now it's been a little over a year and a half, almost 2.
Well, no, because I mean, Blade Show was just last weekend. So we turned.
Oh, okay. So I mean, like, I thought you were talking about not this Blade Show that you just came back from, the one before.
Yeah, so the one before, that's when we
Okay.
debuted, not this past Blade Show, last
Oh yeah.
Blade.
So it's been, yeah, you're right. It's been just about a year.
Yeah, it's been a year
Yeah.
and a week. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember you posting up stuff. I do remember you posting up stuff for the Atlanta Blade Show
Mhm.
the year before.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. We've grown so much, and like this year, the first year we went, we only have protos. I mean, samples, you know, full made
Yeah.
samples, but that we couldn't sell anything or anything. This year we have all of our inventory. We have our first line, our second line, all our traditionals. Everything's here. The only thing we didn't have was the French Broad Jack and the Akui River. Those are the only 2 traditionals that we didn't have. Everything else we had. And I mean, it was just, we sold like crazy. I mean, it was so, we had such a busy booth. I had to like take a step back for a minute and like breathe because you have people constantly lined up in front of us. And we even, when we made our booth, we adjusted it to where like we were in our booth so people could come into like our booth area instead of walking out the whole thing. And like, I mean,
kind of like the way the artisan area was for artisan and CJRB at Blade West, where you had that area where you could come in, like the counter came around.
No. So we had like a longer booth. We did like an L shape, but we just kind of leaned the L shape in, so that way there was just a little bit of room for people to stand. I like how Artisan does theirs, but we don't have cases. We actually we have like all of our inventory in the back. Like Chase builds our booth, and then we there.
I saw that. Like I was like, that's actually like, that's how you know that you've got country boys working at that, because like that was like they framed that out like they were doing a barn. Like we're gonna build it up like a section of the barn. We'll just do like a sidewall, and we'll just put up the framing, and we'll just hang everything from it.
Here's what I love about it is, I make jokes that I don't do tactical stuff. Listen, I can build whatever I want, and I know how to. I can change my oil if I need to. I can change my brake pads. I've done it. I don't want to, but I have made people believe that I can't do any of it. But here's why. I don't want to. There are enough men around me. I shouldn't have to change my oil, and I'm not going to.
I got news for you. I don't change my own oil, and I am a man. And somebody was like, "Oh, you don't know how to change it?" I'm like, "I absolutely do." I was like, "But you know what else I don't want to do? I'm old, and I don't want to get down underneath my car, and I will never change another set of brake pads ever." That's like, I don't care how poor. I don't care how poor I am. I will scrape together the money to have someone else do my brake pads, because I don't like the busted knuckles and all that shit that comes with those things.
It wasn't that. Here's the thing. So my toxic trait as a human being is when I get mad, I suddenly have enough strength to like carry a fridge in by myself. And if you offer to help, I'm like, no, I got it. And you can ask Hawkins, he will attest to that fact that I suddenly have all of this knowledge and capabilities when I'm pissed off. And so someone was like, you don't even know how to do it. I was like, oh yeah, watch this. And immediately went out there and I just got on YouTube and I was like, I figured this out. And I'm like changing my brake pads. I don't think I did it right by any means. I'm not going to lie to you. But we stopped, you know?
Hey, I've done it a bunch of times, and I reached a point where I was like, you know what? There's people who get paid to do this, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pay them, because my time and frustration levels are not worth this. It's just better.
This new age of like, you know, women like to be independent thing. Like, I'm independent for sure, but I am totally fine making you food in trade for you to fix my car. Okay, I'm cool with that. Like, if I didn't have to work, I'd be fine with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I tell Hawkins all the time, he's like, Savannah, first of all, I don't let him in my car anymore because it's gross. I know it's gross. I'm tired of hearing him tell me it's gross. But he gets my car and he's like, you have any gas in your car? I'm like, I got like $10. I'm gonna put gas. No, you have.
I can get from here. I can get here from here to the sit-go. I'm good.
Yeah, it's fine. And he like, you know, he forgets I'm older than him sometimes, but he'll straight up dad and he's like, you're supposed to fill up your tank, Savannah. I'm like, I'm not doing that. There, I said it. I'm not doing it. There's a crack on my windshield across my entire windshield. That pissed him off.
Bro, that shit, okay, leave it, because I'm gonna tell you what right now. I remember replacing a windshield, and it was not that expensive. I just replaced the wife's windshield on her Toyota. It cost me almost $500 fucking dollars. I was like, I don't remember that.
It's okay. It doesn't obstruct my vision. I don't care. And you know something else? Here's the thing. That happened 1 month after I got the damn car, okay? I know as soon as I fix it or replace it, it's gonna happen again. I'm gonna let it happen. It's there. It's fine. But he did, he got me new tires because...
Were they shiny? They look like the top of my head when I get out of the shower.
Okay, you have no idea how bad I do tires. Like, I'm a horrible person when it comes. No one should have gave me a driver's license in the first place. We're just gonna put that out there. But my tires, like, I had a screw in one. I was like, well, I got the stuff to plug it. He goes, no. But let me look at your tires. And he was like, Savannah, there's no tread on these.
Yep.
I was like, there's plenty of tread. I got new tires First of all, never had new tires. And I saw them, I was like, oh.
Oh, that's what they're supposed to look like.
I had no idea. I looked at them, I was like, oh, damn. No, I didn't have any tread. Would you look at that?
So I can't say anything because I let the tires on my Volkswagen. You remember when we went up to Blade Show West in Long Beach?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
My tires were bad enough, and I knew they weren't great, but my tires were bad enough that I had one come apart on the drive back. So like Nick Shabazz and I rode up and everybody was like, how was your drive back? And I was like, this is how it was. And I showed them pictures of it on the fucking tow truck because the tool that you need to take the fucking wheels off, because there's one locking lug on each wheel. The last time I had my oil changed, I got the tires rotated and they had the tool and I stuck it in my pocket and I emptied my pockets into the bowl that's right next to the door here. And the second that I was like, I can't even change that out and put the spare on because I know exactly where the tool I need is. It's in that bowl at the house. And I was like 22 miles from the house.
Oh my God, that sucks. I know. It was when I was driving my Ford Fiesta at the time. And
Ford Fiesta. That's a quality automobile right there.
It was so cute. I got it like, listen, I don't have good credit. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and this is that. Let me put it like this. The car I drive now, I drive a Toyota Corolla. That was the only car on the entire lot I was approved for. And they couldn't even see my credit. So I don't know what it is, but it's terrible.
I'm not gonna say I had for a lot of years I had really fucked up credit. I fell into that trap that they get the military kids with, where they give you that credit card with the really, really low introductory rate, but if you miss one payment and it jumps way up to like fucking almost illegal levels. And I bought 2 pairs of jeans, a couple of CDs, and a nice camera. It was like $600 worth of stuff. And the ship deployed and we got underway and my mail didn't show up. And by the time I got the first bill, it was already overdue. And it took me 5 years to pay off that credit card bill.
Well,
and my credit was so fucked for such a long time because of it. Like I finally have I'm not gonna lie, I got like an 870 credit score right now.
I'm not gonna say what mine is. I couldn't say it.
It's because I pay everything like early. I think I make a payment and I add additional onto it.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I had bad credit is because of that Ford Fiesta. I'm not gonna say who. Somebody totaled my car, and they were not sober, and so they didn't know what happened. But when I took it to the mechanic, what we could figure out was that he or she had to have curbed something at least 50 miles an hour, drove over something, under a fence at least.
So I have up near. That was just the exaggerated. It's like above 800. Like the last time I checked, it was well above that. It was well above 800. I'd have to look again.
I don't know how that happens, but this man got a rock in my engine. Okay. Yeah, I thought so too. I was like, I don't know cars, but I know that's not right.
I never had that happen. I had a spark plug come out while I was driving my dad's truck one time. Heard something rattling around the engine bay. And I got news for you. Spark plug inside an engine bay that's been firing. I grabbed it. They're very hot. Quite warm.
Well, that it totaled my car, so I had to pay $5,500 to fix it because I'm not going to go through insurance. I don't know if like what happened. You know what I'm saying? The car was driven home. My wheel was cut like almost in half. Okay, it sounded like someone was shooting a gun in my driveway when they pulled in. Anyway, so I paid $500 and fixed it, and then the lights were never the same, and I was dancing and driving to this. It was a Kenny Chesney song. I can't listen to it the same way anymore, but I hit a pole. I hit it real good. So when I totaled it, then I had full coverage and I had gap insurance, but Leah had just passed away and I was just done arguing with everyone on the phone. And so now it hit my credit, and they keep calling me to this day. They're like, are you going to pay that? A bill collector called me and he said, he's like, well, it's time that you pay. I was like, listen, I've had a lot going on. He goes, it's been years. I was like, I'm sorry. Was it your money that it is? Is this your money I borrowed? I don't think so.
Yeah, I
Do not
wrecked I totaled my parents' car one time, and they were less than pleased. I today am at 822. There you go. Sorry. 822 current credit score on Equifax and TransUnion. So I don't know what a perfect credit score is. I just know that I'm up near there. And it took years of just taking out a loan
Yeah.
and putting the money in an account, and then I would buy like something that I wanted. So I'd take out like $1,000 loan for something that was $300, and then I'd use that $300, put the other seven in, and I'd make payments, and then like halfway through I'd just pay it off. I was
Yeah.
just doing like
Uh,
small little signature loans and stuff like that.
I don't trust myself yet, so I'm just gonna. I have somewhere to live. I have a car to drive. I have a job, and I call it a day. We just need to be happy with this for now.
Yeah.
Although Hawkins,
I-
what my credit score was one time, and I just looked at him and said, "You don't need to worry about that."
like it's no longer in the double digits. You're like, wait, what?
I just hope it's in double digits. That'd be terrible if it's lower than that.
Yeah, right. No, I wrecked a Dodge minivan. I hit a telephone pole going sideways on a dirt road, and I hit it hard enough that I sheared it off at the ground. And I can tell you that a telephone pole costs about $1,200. I do know that. I had
Not
to buy a
anymore.
new telephone pole,
It definitely costs.
and I knew that the accident was about to happen, and my buddy Scott told me, he's like, when we had the accident, because he was in the passenger side, he was like, I've never seen anything like. He's like, I knew the accident was going to happen. He looked at me and he's like, you yanked on your seatbelt, and looked at me and says, hope your seatbelt's on. And then we hit the telephone pole. He's like, I was like, there's nothing more I can do. Like, I have absolutely lost control. And we hit it, and you could exit that minivan from like 4 different places without touching a door handle.
Man,
The sliding door of it was laying in the road about 25 yards behind the van when we finally stopped.
oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. I had a minivan, and my minivan went through hell, but it always ran. She didn't
Oh,
go.
this one ran. This one absolutely ran.
Mine didn't go in reverse. So like when I would get out of work, I'd just be pushing it backwards, and then I'd jump in and I'd leave. And someone actually caught me doing that one time. They were like, "Savannah, no, you're done. Enough of this." Because I used to just use a belt, and I'd just kind of pull my steering wheel as I'm pushing my car out.
Okay, so I'm not the only person who had a car that did not have reverse. I had a '78 Chrysler LeBaron. We called it Igor, and when I'd have my friends in. Like, if you were doing it by yourself, because it was a boat. Like, if I can, it would seat 8 comfortably and 10 uncomfortably. And I had no reverse, so I had to pull in and hope I was on a hill so I could roll back out, or I had to push it into a parking space
Mm-hmm.
going backwards. But if I had friends in the car, I could just go back, Igor, back, and everybody jump out and push the car backwards.
What got me was mine. I loved driving a minivan. I'm gonna throw that out there. Like I actually still have it. I need to fix it up. I have a 323i BMW. It's a 98. I love it. It's my little Barbie car. By the way, Barbie never told me that you can't actually be in a convertible with long hair that's not tied up. So that sucks. First time I figured that out. Thought I was gonna die. Not gonna lie. I had hair that I could sit on, and it just wrapped around my head. And I was like, oh my God, how do I make this stop? Someone help me. And I'm like smacking the shit out of myself, trying to like see. But I have that car, love it. It's great. I don't drive it, obviously, because I wrecked it, so I have to fix it. But of all the cars I've had, my favorite was that minivan, because you know how great it is to. I could just put all of my seats down, right?
Yeah, it's like having a truck with a cab.
Yeah, right. And I was like, sorry, man, I can't give you a ride home. My seats don't come back out. I'm just lying to people straight up. I told one of my friends, I'm not a liar, but I am definitely a bullshitter. Like when I was a server and a bartender, 100%. Man, oh my God, you're from Mississippi? I have family down there. I've never been to Mississippi. I've been once, that's it. I went there for like a photo shoot. I was such a bullshitter whenever I was a bartender and a server. Like, I want your money. Of course, I want to hear all about your daughter and her college plans and why she's not engaged yet. Absolutely.
See, So when, because I have a friend that runs a bar, and I have worked the door a few times. As a matter of fact, the last time I said I wouldn't do it again because I had to concrete bounce a dude, and then he got all irate, and the patrolman that showed up was like taking his side, and I was like, he was trying to attack one of the fucking bartenders. Are you retarded? And then, oh, not supposed to use that word on YouTube. But so when the sergeant showed up and found out what was going on, he was like, just leave him be. But like the bartenders, you could see the bartenders doing that, and then they come over and was like, can you get this guy the fuck out of here? Please,
Yeah.
like he's driving me insane. Like I really don't want to try to keep being nice to this guy.
Yeah, there are some people that I've had to be nice to that I'm like, you're a trash can. Like you're like a dumpster type trash can. You know what I'm saying? I have
Like a dumpster behind a Taco Bell in July.
yeah. You're like the porter potty next to that.
Dude.
That's what I wanted to say. Some of the people that I have served, they're like that. Yeah. But what I loved, okay, because obviously most people when they see me, they would have no idea I know anything about knives. As a matter of fact, I have boobs, therefore I clearly don't know nothing. I don't know anything. How I do, because at one point I had so many knives, and I was just like, dude, I don't even need all of these, and I didn't think I was gonna. I didn't really know what was happening with my career at that point, so I was like, I'm gonna start selling them. So I like put in my pocket. I go to work, you know, bartending. I'm gonna slice all my stuff. And they'd be like, oh, look at that knife you got. Good for you. Did your dad get that for you? And now I know the game has begun. As soon as I look at you and I say, let's say, I'll give you this, right? I'll say, this is a Warncliffe blade. This is carbon fiber, right?
But that's not a Warncliffe blade.
As soon as I know it's not. I'm lying. As soon as
okay. The game is afoot. Oh, I see what we're doing. I see.
As soon as I say all of that, right, and they agree with me, I know I can get you to buy this for way more than I paid. And Dylan,
you're a horrible person. You're a horrible person, and I dig it. No, it's cool. I dig it.
No. Here's
my
the
wife's
thing.
horrible too. You'd love my wife. She's a horrible person. Like just the worst.
Hear me out. If I tell you who designed it, what company, what materials, and all of that, and you still don't look it up, you're the moron.
It's your fault.
Yes, there's a guy. Okay, you know Dylan's non-locking Archeo.
Yeah, I love that thing. Yeah, the double detent with the extra pin.
Yes, I had that one. It's a purple. Well, I did have it. It's a purple one. I got another one, but I had that on me. I was at work, and this guy. I mean, he had done made all the comments. He's drunk as hell, and you know, at that point, when you're like super drunk, I'm gonna keep pouring you shots just so I can run up your tab and you tip me more because if I have to deal with this, you're paying me. Anyway, so I did that whole thing. Jesus. But
he's like, high five.
High five. But I got this guy to pay. First of all, I told him all about it. And he was like, well, how much would you give me that for? I was like, oh, dude, I paid like $200 for this knife. Like, you'd have to do more than that. And then the auction began. They paid, it was $350 for that freaking knife. Okay, I walked out on a Tuesday with $1,200. I have never been more thankful for a moron in my life.
Like, I love stupid people.
Yes, well, that isn't even including.
Occasionally, I like, most of the time, I'm like, oh, stupid people.
Hey, if I'm working at a bar and you come up to me with some like dumb shit, I love you. We can be best friends. And I will look you dead in the eye with a smile on my face while you're calling me all these derogatory terms. I'm going to pour you another shot. And I'll run that tab up a few $100s.
And then I'm going to go get the guy at the front door that fucking just is looking forward to grabbing someone by the face and dragging them out of the bar. And I'm like, hey, he tried to touch my boobs.
Here's the thing. I love cutting people off. It was one of my favorite things. Most of the time, like my coworkers, like if there was gonna be someone cut off, they'd be like, "Hey, Savannah, can you go do it?" And I'm like, I'm so yes. For this, because all you do is you just walk up with a big old smile. And you're like, "Hey, hon, how you doing?" Yeah, that's great. So that beer in your hand, that's your last one. And I'll get you to buy more food on the opportunity that you could get more alcohol, and you won't. But I like that I can upcharge you just a little bit. You have a good day now.
Oh.
Like, I love doing that. It cracks me up every time.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are going to have to do this again because it's
We're
fun.
at like 2.5 hours now.
Yeah, 2 hours and 15 minutes, and my family's home. And as much as I'm enjoying it, I think what we should do is plan on doing this again here just not too long because like I said, like every time we do this, it's a lot of fun, and it's one of those live feeds like when I have Cole from Tri-State or some of my other guests. It's always fun because there's just no flow to it. Like we'll hit some of the stuff, but I guarantee there's stuff that you want to show. Are there any other upcoming knives that you want to show before we drop? We can stick around for about another 10 minutes.
No, I think I showed everything that I have. Right? Yeah, I think so. We'll just have to do this again, and I'll get the whole lineup ready because I do the MA11 and that white G10 and some of our new traditionals. So whenever the traditionals get in,
if you can get me that sway back, even if it's just like you don't have to send me anything to keep. Like I said, I'm not trying to get free, but if you can send me one, and I might send it off to other people. I am interested in seeing that. It is a very good looking knife, and that broad jack slip joint.
Get them back in because we sold out of them.
Yeah.
So as soon as they get back in, or I can send you a second that you can at least look at it and feel it in hand, it's gonna have a little bit of a grind to it, or it'll have like something. I normally write notes on why it's a second, but we do our seconds for the most part, unless it's just an unsellable knife. But I totally feel you. My niece is inside too, so I'm probably gonna go in and hang out with her too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll tell you guys what, we will make sure I'll save the thumbnail because I don't want to have to make another one like that. Not gonna lie, it was a pain. I will definitely, we'll definitely do that, and I'm gonna use that thumbnail and repurpose it for the Pocket Monster, so that way we can. I'll just minimize you in it and then put this in the background. So cool. Yeah, you're gonna see those videos coming out soon. Like I said, I've done the Ajuda and this one, and I'm still carrying the Zambezi. So we're going to have to end anyway because they're flying the F-35s over today. It's about to get real loud. So, guys, everybody that donated, I appreciated it. Will and Scott and Daniel, you guys are great. If you guys want to get in on memberships, I have that. Please go visit Coffee Brand Coffee and use my link. It supports the channel, and they are absolutely apolitical. They take no political standings. And then go over to Tempered Trail and check out the stuff that Nathan is putting up on his website. Both of those have the same coupon code Crazy Sharp, capital C, capital S, all one word. Saves you 5% at checkout. And I get a payment. I get like 10% per sale.
Is that like got me heard?
Say what?
Did you just nudge at me right there? Is that what that was? I felt that jab. Like second and third rib.
Who what? Huh?
Because we don't pay our ambassadors.
No. That these guys are. I have channel. They're paid. I have paid sponsorships with these guys.
I'm just
basically.
So.
No. I have no problem with that. There's a couple companies that I was trying to work with that's the way they work, and I'm fine with that. If I can provide a coupon that is going to save the viewers a little bit of money, I'm fine with it. I put up links to anything I do a review on. I put up links if I can find it. Like Daniel doesn't pay me anything for the sale of these knives, but I put a link to his website for these all the time. That's so awesome. I'm not. I had a knife that came in, and the reason I say this, I had a knife that came in, and I reached out to a few people. Jared already had one, but there was a couple channels I reached out to, and they're like, "Where's this knife for sale?" And I'm like, "Well, it's not available yet." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't want to see it if I can't link it with an affiliate that I've got." Then I don't. I was like, "That's pretty shitty." Like I don't. That's not cool. So I don't think that's cool. That's not why I do the channel. It's to bring new items to people, whether I get paid for it or not.
Makes sense.
Okay, so you guys take it easy. I'm gonna kick Savannah out. Say goodbye, Savannah.
Bye.
And then I'm gonna go home right after I give you guys. I added something. Let me see if it actually added. Is it here? Yes. I thought I deleted it. So you guys get to see this. Don't go anywhere. Savannah, you got to see this.
It is a very rare diamond. Jack, I want you to draw me like one of your French girls. Wearing this.
All right.
Wearing only this. The last thing I need is another picture of me looking like a porcelain doll. As a paying customer, I expect to get what I want. Look at my boobies, Jack. Look at.
We hadn't seen that in a while. I had actually deleted it off of the software, and I had to go find that video again. Yes, that was Arnold Schwarzenegger in Titanic. Yeah, I know, right? Look the look on your face. That's what happens on this channel. All right, now we'll say goodbye to Savannah. Bye, Savannah. And I'm out too. I'll see you guys later.